But I've been trying the flash green to clean
And we are
my
live.
resin.
Put
It
that drink
doesn't work.
away. We are live.
Let me just ask some favors, Matilda.
Oh, I gotta switch
How is
real quick.
everyone?
Shit.
Okay, everyone has a drink, right?
No, I need tonic, and she's not going to get it. Give me a second.
Okay. And now he's gone. And he went live. Come on, there are two now. Oh man,
That was horrible planning on our part. It is.
it's fine. This is a schedule, you know. I actually didn't even notice it was the time. I just noticed the Tom's comment, so I just had to press start.
I was wondering what
Man.
scheduled versus live was.
The pressure to get live. I couldn't even get a proper gin.
For the past
Stop
20 seconds didn't happen.
Bloody hell.
So, how is everyone?
I'm good.
Well, of course, you're drinking. It's 9.
I'm
So-
unorganized. Yes.
I mean, I think I'm fine. I'm not really too worried about the social distancing. You're telling me I can be antisocial and it's publicly appropriate? You know, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, I had the same comment from my wife, and like people are going, "Oh, I don't have anything to do. I'm stuck at home," and I'm like, "Give me more hours in the day so I can actually do more stuff."
All right.
I
I'm
don't-
consistently busy printing and actual work too.
Yeah, but you're the wolf of 3D printing, correct?
Trying to be.
He is. Even gets letters from Disney.
Not good ones.
Oh
So-
God.
Wexter's Baby Yoda made me too famous with Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Damn, Baby Yoda. I mean, it's their fault. They didn't produce everything in time, so we had to step in.
Exactly.
But-
They
I
didn't
agree.
produce. Period. Correct.
Exactly.
well, they're supposed to have everything out now, right? Around the March time frame.
Yeah, at the time that no one can go to the shops.
And you know what? Their figures suck, in my opinion. I don't like their figures. I think
Wait.
other creators' figures are way better.
Tom is
So-
having dinner at this moment, watching this, correct? Because he was just taking pictures of his dinner with the kids, and he's worried about my haircut.
Yes. I mean, we were all worried about that.
Yeah, I know. You know how I managed to do it?
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
went upstairs, I cut my hair, and then came down, and my wife says, "Oh, we have to sort that shit out." Live under the bed.
Yep,
How are you, dude?
I'm good. Oh,
Where's
man,
the
I'm never
beer?
gonna live that down.
Oh my God, we love the bad studio is awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to not mention that. Like, we started teasing him because the last time when we did the stream, it was unlisted. We did it just for fun, and he started streaming under the bed, so we obviously had a lot of questions.
I think we should
So
name these.
it's
I
a,
missed that
it's a
part last
loft
time.
bed.
I think they
in
should
case.
be
Not like I'm
named
on the
like that.
floor.
No, we should just name the stream under the bed.
I'm on it.
I think that's it. It should be like that. But to be honest, there's something wrong there. If you managed to lift the chair, because last time you weren't that close to the mattress.
I was probably slumped.
Oh, okay.
You were lower, and at least the camera and everything was straight.
I do have it on top of a fan this time. The laptop.
How's New York?
It's all right.
Yeah.
Everything has a line where everybody's 6 feet apart to get into.
Yeah.
But
We got that
thankfully,
too.
everything is still stocked. Not like we're running out of anything. So,
It's so good he's forced to be under a bed to
Understandable.
stream.
Yeah.
it's
may-
just
maybe-
the easiest spot right now.
Last time he moved to another.
Are you in New York City?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow,
back in Manhattan.
man.
God.
So it's the size of your apartment right there.
It's half of it, yeah.
That's what we were talking this morning. Because I imagine the cost per square meter in New York is probably the same price for that space under the bunk bed as my office here in Cambridge, correct?
Oh man.
It's just, yeah. I don't know if Dublin or London are more expensive than New York, because Dublin is bloody expensive at the moment.
They're
Yeah,
probably
last
close.
time we had that subject, and it kind of went crazy with all the subjects we had last year. I'm kind of afraid what will happen tonight.
Well, I think it should be okay tonight. I think it went
Be all
pretty
right.
bad after you guys left, and we just stayed the three of us last Friday, because like
Yeah, we stayed
God,
till late.
very late.
We
Yes.
Well, late for you guys.
Actually, I found out like 10 minutes ago that I was one of the first ones to go on my own stream. So I Fred got really drunk. Apparently, he couldn't
I
walk.
didn't get drunk. I just drank too much, and I woke up with a headache next day. That's basically it.
The
Okay.
difference.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. Like drunk, I got like that's drunk.
There's always
Okay.
the digital footprint. We could go back and look.
Luckily, it wasn't streamed, so there's no evidence of it.
Never mind.
So
But-
for everyone else who doesn't know any of you guys, can you guys make some slight introduction of yourself? Tell only good stuff, of course.
God.
Introduce yourself in a bad way.
Who's starting? I think Fernando, that's under the bed and has the honors of being the reason why we call this show Under the Bed, should start.
Sure.
Saying.
So I'm a 3D modeler enthusiast. I'm gonna say that here, living in New York, and I've been releasing models for it's a year and a half now, on Twitter, on Thingiverse, and Prusa Printers, and all those other places.
Heck yeah.
That's it.
Well,
I don't know. My models are more non-organic, I guess. More like props, guns, vehicles, things like that.
you have some cool guns.
Dude, I like your stuff. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, and the Batmobile and the Batwing.
Oh yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
There it is.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, you see, Batwing. I'm really pissed off that he actually managed to do that so quickly. Yeah.
Quickly, haven't we talked about this for like months?
No, not really. It was like not even a month, and you just, oh, here's a Batwing, and I go like, oh shit, okay.
I
now
felt
I'm
it took me forever.
No, it was less than a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
It would take me a year. They're probably more.
well, I'll introduce myself. So I'm Fred. I'm mostly my tags are the 3D printing. I just make dioramas for Waxter's mini dudes. That's probably my best definition.
The only thing.
Well, I don't do dioramas for a lot more stuff, correct? But yeah, I just make dioramas. That's what I like to do, and I just
You're gonna definitely show at least one of those things that you have prepared already.
well,
the
yeah, I have a
diorama
couple of
king.
them. I have one behind me there.
Have you printed out the Sonic one?
Yeah, have you not seen it?
I
No.
probably have. I've seen the digital design. I mean, that one's probably one of my favorite ones. That's right. Yeah, because you did the resin water, right?
No,
Yeah.
actually, I didn't. This is actually just PLA.
Oh, still, I mean, that's incredible.
So I've actually
That's
this.
PLA.
Yeah. So this is. It's on the instructions file. So this is PLA with water effect from Vallejo, but you can do it with Mod Podge and then just paint it with some white on top.
Wow.
Did you paint those boxes individually?
Yes.
Oh man.
This is the only time I wish I had an MMU or a palette too.
I mean, I probably would have just gotten
But
a
the back isn't.
stencil design.
No.
No, I think it's awesome.
Uh, but yeah. Oh, and also I said this last stream. I use this new thing from Green Stuff World, which is, I'm not sure if you can see it. The waves there.
Yeah.
So that's UV resin that cures with a lantern. So you can actually just drop it, and all of a sudden it just freezes midair. So it's quite cool.
That's where the transparency comes from.
Yeah. But yeah, that was all done afterwards. Again, I don't sculpt in 3D models, so everything is simple, and then just use some, I don't know, paints or effects to make it look nicer. Otherwise, just boring. Sorry, my coworker is trying to invade my space.
Don't ignore your daughter. What's
6
wrong
feet.
with you?
6 feet.
What?
I said don't ignore your daughter, dude.
No, she's just stubborn and difficult like her father. Anyway, yeah, that's me. So I guess either unloading whale or Alex.
Let's
Yeah,
go
I'll-
with some
Alex.
whales.
I'll go. Yeah. Man, I don't have the paint skills. I don't have. Oh wow, I'm really close to the screen. I don't have the paint skills or the design skills that everyone else seems to have on here. But I'm just more of a 3D print seller. I have my wife do all the painting, so that's the easy part for me. But I just, I like 3D printing. I started doing it about probably a little over a year and a half ago, maybe, and started with one printer, and now somehow I've amassed 7 of them, and I just really enjoy it. So yeah, I work with Wexter a little bit, sell his stuff just to. It's great. Love working with those models, and I don't know. I just like 3D printing. It was one of those things where I didn't like keeping the models myself. I don't amass the models like the way I'm looking at Fred's stuff in the back with all the different models that he has, and I'm looking at how clean my wife makes me keep my room. So it was a way to print and then make a little money on the side as well.
Yeah, well, I think like while some of us are the modelers or makers or like artists like Wexter, correct? You're the commercial guy.
Well, what I look at it is there's a lot of people out there who see Wexter's stuff or see your stuff or any of your guys' stuff really and want it but can't find a way to get it. Maybe they don't have their own 3D printer, or maybe they weren't even familiar with 3D printing in general. So it's just a really, in my opinion, a cool way to get your guys' name out there and me benefit from it.
Yeah, it makes my life much easier because I hate to like decline something when people ask me. I'm like, oh, now I need to say that I'm not printing anything, or now I have people. I just show a few links and that's it.
Yeah,
So
I started getting tons of questions like, oh, could you print this model? And I always say, well, I don't print because I don't have enough time, but there are people out there that print my models.
Right.
I usually just send them over to the list of patrons that actually do print stuff because I just don't have the time. But I love the fact that there are people that actually do that, correct? Because that helps.
Yeah.
Us
That's
not
good to
have
hear.
do
I
it.
think, there's a lot of people out there, I feel like, I guess, don't feel that way. They don't want people selling their stuff. But I mean, like, I don't sell anything that people don't want to be sold, right? So I try to work with people or talk to people or at least attribute, if it comes down to it, if they're okay with it. If it's one of those where, hey, no commercial license, I'm not going to, do something. Even if it's something where it's like let's say a Pokemon toy, clearly they don't have the right to say that it's a Pokemon toy, or you know what I mean. But I don't want to hurt a designer that way. I want to make sure that they're getting credit if they do it. Kind of like working with Wexter that way.
No, I think it was Buster that said it just now. And yes, like I don't have time to print anything for anyone. Like my printers are working 24/7,
Tracy.
testing the models that I make or something else. Correct? So it doesn't
Right.
work.
Yeah, no. I think we all need each other at that point,
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, I agree. So there's
Yeah,
one person left that hasn't introduced themselves.
Yeah.
This guy. Yeah. Unloading Whale,
Big.
aka Gonzo. Hey guys, and Buster McDougal right over here. with Wales Wares. We're kind of the same as Alex. I think me and Alex actually started around the same time, maybe me a couple months before him, just because I had the printer at the house prior to that. But again, I love working with Wexter, Fred, all you guys. You guys are awesome. The designing you guys do. I wish I had the talent that you guys had to do that. But I'm still learning. I love printing. I love volunteering some prints. I'm going to start doing some. You guys ever heard of the Enable program? I'm going to start signing up for that here soon. Once I get these minis working, it's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So I'm rocking 3 printers. So I'm getting up there with Alex soon, and 1 laser engraver. So hopefully I can get the word out as much as I can, just like Alex does. I love sharing it. I take these things to work, not the printers, but your guys' pieces to work. Everyone just falls in love with them. I just recently opened my store. Wexer, thanks for the plug on that. That was awesome, man. But other than that, it's just chugging along, guys. I'm just loving this super hobby.
If you ever take the Star Wars diorama to work, the same size as I've printed it, I would like to see that.
Yes, sir. I will.
Because it's quite big model. But I think it's awesome that you guys, I think if I wasn't doing what I was doing and I was printing and I had the printers, I would probably sell this stuff, because there are tons of people that don't have access to 3D printers, or I'll teach people and help them get into it, correct?
Mhm.
I think I just got the wrong end of the stick and ended up building dioramas instead of...
Your dioramas are awesome, though.
Well, it's funny. I tried to do. I did the Blender course. I learned Blender. I know a little bit of Fusion, but it's one of those things where I have to focus my time in certain things, and I focused my stuff at what I was good at, which was sales, just because that's what I do in my day job. Yeah. And I try to design, and I've designed some things. I proved myself last week so I can make it back on the stream. So I designed something small, but it's just a keychain. But it does feel, it's a different type of accomplishment, selling one thing, but also designing. Because when I designed, I was like, hell yeah, I made this. This is cool. And then having it printed out in front of you, that is from here to, pen to paper, essentially, or brain to paper. It's amazing. It's a good feeling. So I'm sure you get that a lot.
I'm gonna bring another person.
Ooh.
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 Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hola.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good. Just woke up, so
I know.
but I'm good.
Wait. So if you just woke up, where are you in the world?
I am in Brisbane, which is in Australia, and it is 7:30 in the morning on Saturday here.
God, okay. It's
Wow.
10:30 here in the UK.
Ah, wow. Yeah, total opposites.
Australia time.
11:40 p.m. here.
Yeah.
5:30 in the afternoon here.
Jesus.
Yeah, these times are
5:30.
always weird. Like a bunch of times when I go to bed, then everyone activates on my Discord. So when I wake up at 6, 7
let's just
in the
stop
morning,
there.
I need to scroll through a lot.
It's not everyone. It's old salty.
Yeah,
It really is. You mean his
I need
paragraphs?
I need to mention him for a moment. And I'm gonna hit the link to a Facebook page where he's actually trying to raise some money for the medical equipment for PLA for filament for everything. So his goal is to buy a lot of filament and just spray it around so everyone can print stuff. So whoever can do something with this information, please do. Billy
you got a lot of money already, correct?
Information for us, right?
I think 1,200.
Yeah. So Billy, just tell us a little bit about you, because we've all introduced ourselves, and now you just joined.
Sure. So yeah, my name is Billy. I really, really, really love 3D printing. Like a very keen enthusiast. And for the last few years, I've helped run the 3D printing subreddit and the largest 3D printing Discord. And other than that, I just really like making weird stuff. So I've made a bunch of posters to help people with leveling and learn to CAD and stuff like that. And Made things like I'm working on a felt printer that 3D prints in wool, like yarn, felt. And
That's cool.
yeah, I know. It's so
That's
weird.
interesting.
Yeah, well, I just thought, like with the we don't have that many flexibles available to us, and the flexibles we do have are kind of like rubbery. They're not like the kind of thing you'd want to like snuggle into and like hug and stuff. So yeah, I kind of appropriated a technique called needle felting, which is a handwork technique. And yeah, I'm in the process of making my machine do it for me. Yeah. It's really
Okay, guys, just give up.
Wow.
We're all just crap at our jobs.
Yeah,
Just give her the main screen.
But
She
the
does really
smartest person
amazing
in the
stuff.
room just joined.
I love hearing what
Look,
everyone has to say.
whoever doesn't know about her, you should check Reddit, and you will find really cool 3D printing related stuff that I was looking at. Like, how did she do that? What is this? I didn't even know that it's possible. She's that smart.
Oh wow.
I
And
just
also,
feel like
she's one of the mods in 3D printing on Reddit. So if someone kicks you out, maybe.
so. She's the boss,
Sure.
basically. Guys, just get used to it. You are not in charge here, okay?
No. I'm definitely a guest.
No. So okay, well, so what is everyone up to? Well, we
Well,
already know you're building all these crazy stuff, and sorry, we don't have that awesome stuff to talk about, correct? So,
Everything is awesome. I
Has
love
Legos.
the reason I hang out in the communities is because I just love seeing what everyone makes. So please, just
well,
everyone is cool. I don't
we
want
have Waxer as our Master Yoda, correct? Like he does all this cool stuff. We're missing Mint because he's busy tonight, not sure doing what. Where is it? Oh, he's online. He's there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's watching. He's just not on the stream.
Just
Yet.
Ah.
Okay. So what are you guys up to? Fernando, what are you doing?
Well, right now I'm actually trying to print up that dragon that I said I would on Twitter. Don't know if you guys noticed it. The guy printed it in blue. I'm doing it in chaos red.
No, it's another dragon. Sorry, my daughter was just asking me about the dragon because I've just sponsored a Kickstarter that had a couple of dragons on it.
Oh, okay.
That was like crazy amount of dragons on it. So I was showing her. Sorry, carry on.
No, at the moment, that's it. I was printing face shields for a hospital in New Jersey, but the guy hasn't contacted me back. So I don't know. We need to hear back. If not, I'll donate it to a different hospital.
I have actually stopped printing today for the first day in I don't know how many days, because basically the city took over and they will deliver everything that needs to be done for my city.
Okay.
That's
Well,
good.
it's not mine. I don't know. Own it
Yeah, you do.
We
Show us the key.
yet. So I
You
think
don't
I
own
printed,
it.
I printed around 115, I think, shields, and we have a smaller hospital, so I think 1,500 is going to be enough to cover everything. My city and like smaller areas around it, so we are kind of okay. And it's really quiet right now. It's weird. I got so used to printers running all the time, so it's like spooky at the moment.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So you're not printing anything.
Nope.
God, you're
Actually,
sick.
I did only one
Your hand should be
small
drawing.
part of print just to see something.
Oh, okay.
Gonna do it, Rick.
Yeah,
It's the second part of season 4 comes out soon, right? This weekend?
No, in May.
In May?
Yeah,
But I just got too eager.
yeah, me too. I had to double check. So yeah, I'm
Rick and Morty.
mostly sculpting. I was playing something else, but then I've seen the trailer, and then I had to do this thing. It's the weirdest thing I ever
That's
made.
Glorious. Love it.
It reminds me of the Doctor Strange. Remember that Doctor Strange that had tons of arms? That was on, I think, on the Discord, crowdfunded models.
Yes, yeah, I
It
remember.
was weird.
We-
Okay, that's
that-
nice.
That's good.
Where's
like
the
it.
Indiana Jones?
I started making it the other day, and I wasn't feeling it.
Oh,
I thought it was, it's one of those situations when you think that something is really easy to do. Like I started modeling Harrison Ford, the
Yeah.
bust. So I paused also that, but I kind of started thinking about the features. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and then I started modeling the mini dude, and it just looks weird. I don't know why. So I decided to leave it for a few days, and now I'm mostly going through YouTube and watching all the things connected to Tiger King because
God.
why not?
I have a feeling he's
Oh
gonna
my God,
model
it's
something
sick.
from that show soon.
Almost.
Gameplay, yeah.
I
I got-
I heard a bunch of stuff that I really didn't like, so I definitely don't like anyone from that documentary, and modeling any of those people would be just wrong.
The tiger.
Tiger. They did
It's
nothing
funny
wrong.
how the tigers become like second to everything else in that show. Like you'd think if there was a show and it had tigers in it, that would be like the thing. But like I
Look,
got sucked into that show. I don't watch
started
much reality
because
TV,
of
but
that.
like, oh my God, what the hell? Like it's insane. It's actual insanity. Like I've never seen anything like it. I just had to keep watching. It's crazy.
I have
Crazy.
not started because I don't want to get sucked into it.
Look,
Yep, me too.
Everyone,
when you see it and it's totally crazy, and then you start researching a little bit more, dig deeper, and you see the interviews with people after the everything and what they say, what was actually happening, even underneath all of that, it's just insane and sad at the same time. But one thing that is kind of bothering me was there are much more tigers in captivity than there are in the wilderness. So
Wow.
Like in the U.S. too, right?
it's kind of terrible when you think about it, because I mean I don't know how many people can make everything for those tigers so they could feel in some kind of natural habitat. Mostly they are in some smaller cages. But I'm looking at the extinction thing, and actually those private zoos are probably the only ones who will keep on, breeding those animals. Like if there's only 4,000 tigers in the world, and it's like 11,000 in captivity, it's kind of, it's a weird situation. It's sad, but also like, okay, they will continue breeding them. They will not get extinct.
It's weird. Yeah, it does
Yeah.
look weird.
it's bittersweet almost.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
I'm always thinking it's sad because
So you're going to model a tiger. That's
No.
That's
basically the
point.
the
no,
point.
I like sculpting monkeys.
I'm really disappointed because all that stuff just was to run away from the point that actually you haven't done Indiana Jones. And wait, this gets worse than that because it's the first time in more than a year or so that I actually have a diorama ready with no mini.
Ooh.
Oh, laying on the guilt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does that occasionally.
Fred, what do you think about the tigers, Fred?
And his daughter is there in the corner, and she's like, yeah. So Billy, tell us, what else are you planning? What kind of projects do you have?
Yeah, tomorrow we have VRRF, which is we've been working with the MRRF, like Midwest Red Rat Festival organizers, just over the last week. So it's very last minute, but to put together like a live stream call, kind of like this, like casual sort of hangouts over some drinks, to kind of capture that vibe of the Murph after party, but digitally because everyone misses each other. I've never been to Murph before, which is kind of bizarre that I'm helping organize it, but I was really, really looking forward to it. I had a trip booked that obviously got cancelled because of everything. But yeah, so that will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time. And we've still got a couple of slots left. So if you guys want to join, sign up. I've put the link on Twitter, or just DM me if you can't find it in my stream. And yeah, it should be really, really fun. We've got lots of awesome people showing up, like Angus and, oh God, so many people. I won't even list them all. There's a list.
Oh man.
The link to Discord maybe, or
that would be wonderful. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
So it's on the Make Us on Tap Discord. The lovely gentleman from Make Us on Tap.
It's in comments.
Yay! Thank you. So yeah, join us. It'll be great. Just casual hangouts, and people are just showing off the stuff they've worked on in the last year or so. But yeah, looking forward to that.
I've just joined the channel, the Discord server.
Yay! Thank you. Awesome.
No worries. That's it. I'm there. So, Alex, what you are up to?
Oh man. Let's see. I have all of my printers printing these things right now. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the board game Gloomhaven. But it's
Not
a
at all.
player dashboard that it's a freaking huge game. The box itself is like 25 pounds. And so what it is, the game is, every time you play the game, you build on the chapters. So you play a character, and if you do a certain quest, play a certain amount of scenarios, or kill a certain amount of monsters, your character retires. So it's an RPG, but in a board game form. There's 99 different scenarios. It's huge. But these things make it easier for you to put your characters, like items and other cards. I don't know. They're really handy. People seem to really like them. So that's what I end up printing a lot. I print a lot of board game accessories, make it easier to play board games. I love board games, so it just seemed like the right thing to do. But that's all I really run, and each one of those takes about 8 hours. So I wake up in the middle of the night, flip another one so I can sell them on time and make sure they're getting out on time.
You see, he's the dealer, the wolf of 3D printing.
So,
I gotta do something to make myself.
How many people wake up during the night just to check on their printers?
I know two, Alex and Old Salty. I don't.
You don't? Well, so if it was for personal use, I probably wouldn't care as much. But like when Baby Yoda was huge, there was at one point I had to turn off the store because it just kept coming in. I mean, I was getting so many orders for it that I only had two printers at the time, and I had one Prusa and a CR10, and I didn't trust my CR10 whatsoever to print that. I eventually had to buy another Prusa, but at one point I think I was waking up at 1 o'clock. I'd rush home from work at like lunchtime or sometime in the afternoon, and then run back to work just to flip it to make sure that I could do it. Luckily, my wife works from home on Thursdays and Fridays, so I had to teach her how to do it. So at this point now, I don't even have to run the business. I can just have my wife do everything. She knows how to change the filament. She knows how to take the prints off the bed. The only thing that I'm keeping
already.
What's that?
She does already.
That's what I'm saying. The only thing I haven't taught her is how to slice in Kira or Prusa slicer. It's the only reason why I'm still around.
You're doing all the easy work. She's doing all the labor.
I mean, honestly, she would run the company and own it if it wasn't for that one spot that makes myself, at least needed.
And he's not going to teach her that, by the way.
Nah.
Yeah.
If she had her own computer, I would teach her. But she has a laptop for work, and I have my desktop. So I need to hold on to something that makes it still me 3D printing, because she's painting it all too. So I honestly am not doing anything.
Like, just think that. Yeah.
So it's like here's the Wolf of Wall Street.
That you are
so cute. I'm gonna keep it.
What's that?
You know, she's in charge and she deals with everything else, and you're just basically useless. But we still like you.
Well, so now that I've really laid it out there, I'm starting to think about it, because really the only thing I do is take a file, put it in my computer, and then make sure it's running. But she takes it off the bed, she'll redo the filament, and like I do that too, but then she cleans it up, and then she wraps it up and makes it really nice, and like puts stickers, and she does everything. Well, now I'm thinking about how this is out divided. So she's
Typical boss scenario.
really doing
She
a whole
does all the
lot.
work and he gets all the credit.
I'm just the face at this point. I mean, it's what a CEO is, right? You're just the face of the company.
Fall into your role.
I do the marketing. I come up with the funny toilet paper videos. That's about all I got. So, got to make myself useful somehow.
I think we still love you. Don't worry about it.
I add my comments here and there.
So now unloading well. What are you up to?
I'm just kind of the same thing. I just got done doing an order for a customer. She wanted some unicorns for some Easter, so I just got this one done. About to start another one. Other than that, I am doing what Prusa recommended, and I am ripping apart my minis and taking all the extruder gears off and popping the extruder gears back in there. And then
Why would they recommend that?
Because my filament was not going in, and I sent pictures, and they said that the gears were popped out. So I did that, and now it's getting jammed in the heat break here. And the heat break is, according to them, too low, about 5 millimeters. So I have to take these 3 heat break screws off and shove my heat break in there. But I keep continuing to strip my Allen wrenches, and I'm starting to get very frustrated. So I need to find some tool to use to get these last heat break screws out. So I get these 2 minis going. So I've been working on these minis since Tuesday to hopefully try to get everything going full speed. And then eventually Mr. Alex Parton, who has been teaching me so much about printing, he actually gave me his cursed CR10. It's in a box behind us. So hopefully once I get these 2 things going, I could start Frankensteining that together and maybe get something out of there. It's all learning for me right now. It's awesome learning. And Alex has been a pretty good teacher, man. I've been bugging the crap out of him nonstop. So it's a good relationship. I take and I take and I take, and he gives and he gives and he gives. So it's perfect. And he's gone, so he can't defend himself. It works out.
Well, we can say all bad things about him at the moment, correct? I know he had tons of issues with that CR10. He just basically just said, "Oh, it's the same. I have my Ender 3 stopped for the last month and a half. I have not got it back to work, and I'm not going to spend any more money on it. God, just so fed up with it." Okay, Waxer, what are you up to in terms of new models? Come on, just share some stuff with us. I know you're not doing Indiana Jones. We already know about Batman and Venom, correct?
I'm also not doing. I'm not doing Optimus Prime.
No, yeah. Well, we haven't even got Captain America, so Fotis is just messing with you, correct?
Well, I'm not doing much. It's the beginning of the month, so I'm just, having some fun at the beginning, and then later I'm gonna go crazy and produce more stuff. Like last month, end of the month was kind of crazy. I even squeezed those
minis, yes. I like those. I haven't printed them. I'm actually trying to figure out what diorama to use for that.
It was so weird not to print them. I was like, I just throw them to Joseph. I told him, you need to test them. I cannot, because my printers are printing shields. I cannot stop that.
But to be honest, if you send a file to show Joseph, what are you expecting? He has hundreds of printers. He could just say, test this, and 1,000 minis show up next hour, correct? Or so.
Well, almost it was like that. I sent him during the afternoon, and by the morning everything was prepared. So yeah.
So that's.
I mean, it was a neat idea. I really couldn't refuse something like that.
No, I think you did the right thing, but still, what's next?
Actually, it can.
Okay, my daughter just threw all the dioramas into the floor.
Oh.
I hope that doesn't broke.
She was trying to do some TikTok videos, so basically parts just flew all over the place.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's what happens when you share an office space with a 12-year-old. Sorry, just give me a second.
Ooh.
Run.
That is awesome.
We lost Fred.
Oh, she's taking over.
And he's back.
Come on.
Oh,
Come on. Come on.
Tell us what you've been working on while you've been at home.
Her?
Yeah.
Well, she's been doing
TikTok.
Google Classroom
Oh, that's
and
right.
TikToks. Yes, and TikToks.
Awesome.
Come on, Mathilde. Oh God, this is
Uh-oh.
becoming difficult. Come on, Vala, Sala.
Difficult.
Vala.
So, Wexter, since all
$10
your
on
putting all these,
Matilda.
are you waiting?
Sorry, what?
I say since you're putting all these Star Trek characters out, are you a Trekkie?
I will just say that I love everything about Star Trek, much more than Star Wars.
Oh,
Like
who's gonna win?
100 times
I'm
more.
with you. 100% with you. Agree.
Look, Picard over Jesus every single.
And you like the Next Generation over all the other ones, or?
No, I like them all in their own way because of the characters.
Have
Yeah.
you seen the last episode of Picard?
No
Yes.
spoilers. No
I'm
spoilers.
just asking.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but now I'm gonna say something that some people will probably kill me, but you know, in like the last few years, the best Star Trek show is Orville.
Oh, this guy.
yeah, I like Orville. But you know what? The other day, Mathilde
I
wanted me
watched-
to watch Charlie's
that-
Angels. Have you seen
Oh,
the new Charlie's Angels?
Yeah.
Oh God, he shows up in the Charlie's Angels, and I was just saying he can't be the bad guy. It's Jean-Luc Picard.
Dude,
Interesting.
stop.
Interesting. Fred,
Sorry.
we'll get a beer. Calm down a little bit.
Oh God.
I think that Orville is
I
one
don't think that.
of the shows that I've seen lately, and I like shows that are, asking me questions and then making me judge my decisions, because there was some episode that was great. It was really tough to find the right way, like almost impossible, and I just love that kind of stuff.
Have you watched
Orville is
Black
nice.
Mirror then?
Yeah, I love Black Mirror.
Yeah, it does that same thing to me. After an episode is done, I'm like,
I mean, we are living in one episode these days.
yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
It's really scary.
Hey, it allows us to stay at home and print more stuff. Don't complain. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I love all of those. I like sci-fi. I started watching Stargate again, but kind of I fell asleep like during the episode like 2 times. And,
I watched Atlantis.
Yeah, I'm watching Atlantis. So sometimes I'm just mixing it with something scarier. So I started watching Kingdom also, which is really
Animal
great.
Kingdom.
No, Kingdom. It's a Japanese. I think it's Japanese show about zombies. It's really great. It's on Netflix.
Oh, I think I started watching that. Is there 2 seasons? I think I've
2
seen the first.
seasons. I think 6 episodes per season or something like that. I just started watching second season.
Yeah, I think I saw the first season. It was really good. Yeah.
I like watching like something that feels fresh. I mean, zombies are not fresh thing, but because it's set in Japan, immediately it's completely different.
Have you guys watched that movie that I was talking about last week?
No, I totally forgot about that.
What one?
Wandering Earth.
No.
The I think it's Chinese. Wandering Earth. No, it was on Netflix.
Stuff on the completely other end of the spectrum.
Well, the funny thing is, it was one of the the biggest grossing movies in the world, like way above a lot of other Hollywood movies, and almost nobody has seen it, which is at least in this side, correct?
I totally forgot that you mentioned that. I wanted to check and I forgot.
Is it on Netflix?
I think it was. Well, I watched it on Netflix when it came out. A Wandering Earth.
Wondering.
This
The
show
Wandering Earth.
was so weird, and I so loved it. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Awesome. Oh, Dirk Gently's is great. Yeah.
What's that one about?
It's
It's hard to
hard
explain.
to explain. Yeah. It's kind of a mystery. It's really bizarre. Really bizarre. You kind of just have to experience it, I think.
Okay.
How to explain it?
Yeah, it's is that from is that from the guy who made Hitchhiker's Guide?
Oh, is it, that would explain it.
I think it is.
It's kind of just really bizarre, but fun. It's good. It's really good.
I'm going to the other side to have a
I know. Just
cigarette.
Just don't turn the camera.
No, I won't turn the camera.
Since we are live and
Yes, I know.
I think it's public this time. Yeah. Lock and Key. I watched it.
Yep. That's a crazy show. Interesting show.
Yeah,
But
I do love horror.
one of the shows that I've seen lately that was really great was Outsider from Stephen King.
Outsider.
It's on
I
HBO and it's kind of slow, but it's pretty good.
I haven't watched that one.
Man, I started watching way too many shows again. Like
I think we're all in that boat at the moment.
one episode per week, and all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, I watched this and that, and okay.
Yeah, most people I think are on that boat.
When
Do you
I
watch
started,
a lot of horror and thrillers, Baxter?
horror is not that much because I'm still afraid of the dark. I'm not. I turn on the light when I enter the room, so it's fine. There's nothing there. Okay. No, I'm not watching horror movies or horror shows that much because I don't like actually depressive stuff. Yeah. I can watch stuff until one point, but if it gets kind of personal, if it has something that I really don't like, I'm just gonna be depressive about it. Like I remember when I was playing games. I mean, I'm playing games all the time because it's kind of my job. But the most depressive part of my life when I was a kid was when I was playing Silent Hill. I couldn't figure out why, and then I connected the dots. Every single Silent Hill game that I played, it really hit me. I was so depressive and sad, like during that period.
Oh,
Silent
yeah,
Hill, very
definitely don't then. That's,
So just give me ponies and unicorns and I'm gonna be happy.
yeah, that sounds healthy. Dang, yeah.
Better.
What are you doing under that bunk bed there?
We are losing people here.
No, I was getting a print off the bed. Now
Alex,
I have to remove the sports.
Where is it? What's the print?
This is the one of the pieces. I don't know if you can see it much, but
What's that from?
I'll.
Are they is it a dragon?
Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
Here, I'll try to see if I can find the link. Where was it? Should have been on my Twitter.
Waxer is old. He's getting old. You can see his gray hair over there.
I have gray hair.
Not muted, Fred.
I'm not muted. Yeah. Oh, Lucas back.
I have on the side, like here.
You feel lighter there, Alex?
Reading and
What's that?
You feel lighter there?
Well, I started feeling like a complete freeloader, so I went and did some laundry real quick, just to make myself feel a little better.
I cannot bring too bad.
That way, when she gets home, she's not like, "Wow, you haven't done anything to help me out." I'm like, "Well, I did the laundry, so."
I do that too when my partner says he's coming home. I'm like, run to the kitchen and like tidy everything up and put the pillows back on the couch.
Yep. Well, I also
That's
realized I hadn't
what I'm
fed the
thinking.
dogs too, so I need to,
I'm
needed to make
gonna
sure they
leave
ate.
for a second, then I'm gonna leave.
Whoa.
You- You're going to leave? Oh,
cool.
I'm gonna bring someone.
he just buggered
Okay.
off.
You could only do 6 at a time.
Oh well,
Hey, mister.
Hello.
he.
Well, Wexer
Hello.
left, so I can come in.
Did Wexter
Uh,
leave his stream again? I didn't usually leave. And
That
Oh
looks
man, we need to get
gorgeous.
How
to
did this
Zoom.
happen?
get Wexter
No, no,
back.
no, no. This can't happen. I have to go.
I will leave.
If he's gone. No, no, no. Nobody will leave. I'm
No,
just here
no,
to say
no, no,
hi.
no, no.
No,
We
no, no,
can
no, no, no.
stay. We want you to stay. It's much fresher with mint than with
So he's like been holding on to that one.
Where did Vedran go? Vedran, come back.
I think
So-
the issue is that the software only lets you do 6 at a time.
Oh, do
he's
you guys
there.
want me to back out?
His stream.
No. Just stay there. Don't worry about it. Because Fotis is busy. He has some secret thing he's doing. So he wasn't present.
Well, it's not secret. I'm just doing the next model, so yeah, it's not
Oh,
secret.
What's the
God.
next
Well,
model?
you've seen it, Fred. Don't act
I've seen it.
surprised.
I've seen it. I did.
Indiana
Oh,
Jones.
No, no. Unfortunately, it is not Indiana Jones. No, he's doing a bust. I'm upset with him because I was already planning my next diorama with the full figurine, and he said no legs on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. And since Fred is doing dioramas, I have to do everything figures and do,
Yeah.
and work 23 hours a day. Thank you, Fred.
Yes. No worries. You can always, thank me for that. The day has 24. You can sleep 1 hour and then work the 23 hours. So don't complain about that.
It's okay.
Shoving people
That's-
forward.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Well, that's my day job is to just make people work harder. So, as a hobby, I can always do the same.
Are you like a project manager or something?
No, head of product, but it's more or less the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just make
Right.
people work harder. Photos is much happier since he met me.
Yes, yes, totally. When I say I will make, this, Fred already made the diorama, so there's no way I can go back after that.
Oh, man.
I will. I'm thinking to make this, and 5 minutes later, I see a diorama screenshot, and I'm like, "How did you do that?"
Yeah. Well, I'm still printing the damn butcher because I messed that up, and it's just I made the diorama way too big, so it's like 3 days printing nonstop.
It's
And
okay.
it's
You can use it as a gate to your house.
Actually,
Don't
let
need the
me
front door anymore anyway.
just. Where is it? Oh, it's over here.
Did you ever fix the brick wall?
Oh yes, I did. It cost my daughter a buttload of money. Yes,
Oh man.
Billy, I'll show you if you know this because you're probably not on our Waxer Discord every day like these guys. But basically, my daughter just parked her car and went straight into our garden brick wall. And then she called me and
Ouch.
said, "Oh yeah, I just broke the wall," and I thought she cracked a brick. And when I saw the video, actually, the 2-meter wall just came down.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Took a couple of months to get someone to come and fix it, but it's fixed now.
I was going to tell you, maybe
Wow.
Steve could help you.
That's. We had a car go through the front of our house. We had at our old house. Yeah, a car just like went straight through the front and obliterated it, and the whole house
Oh
Had
my
to be
god, that's bad.
dismantled. It was crazy. And my
That's-
partner was in the place at the time. It was like thrown across the room, but thankfully everyone was okay. But yeah, it was crazy. It's really intense having something like that happen. So I'm
Wow.
sorry that happened to you too, because
No, it was in slow motion. So basically, she just ran. She went into the wall, and then basically she just pushed the brick wall and just went like, boom.
Oh, it just fell. Wow.
It was like no.
Wait. So this is the floor for the butcher,
Ah, cool.
and these are the arches for the gate.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
So it's still printing. Yeah, it's going to take a couple of days. I think this is my first mint diorama.
Ooh.
See?
Ooh,
And I think this is for this weekend. So
that's so cool. I've always loved dioramas like so much. I wanted to I wanted to study architecture just so I could make dioramas. Like that was when I was like in school.
this is that the thing is, I like dioramas, but most of the times when you see dioramas, they're really hard to make because basically people do it with foam and have to cut it. And I just can't do that. So when they're 3D printed, you can actually just print them and put them together and then just paint them as much as you want to, correct? And you can have dioramas. So that's why I do them. So
Well,
the zombies one is going up tomorrow. I mean, just get the zombies.
whatever you do is awesome, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the imagination to make this one.
So these are for Waxer zombies. I haven't painted them. I have to do them tomorrow.
Oh,
And
that's
these
so
are the cloths to put on top of them. So they look like they're being autopsied.
That's awesome. I love it.
Oh, crap. Wait.
Ah, so cute. Love it.
And I've made the instructions because someone was saying that it would be helpful to have instructions for them. So now everyone can figure out how to print the parts and which parts, because these guys have a lot of parts. But yeah, that's how it looks.
That's so cool.
That's
I love
crazy.
it. Beautiful.
Yeah, I think I've gone a little bit crazy in the last few dioramas. They have way too many parts to print. But I'll show you this guy.
Are you on Twitter? Do I have you on Twitter?
I don't think so, because I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter.
What's
so
your
this,
Twitter?
the 3D printing. I think no, actually Twitter is the 3D printing magic.
Come on, veteran, link it.
And so this is what everyone on Patreon and on Discord voted for. So basically, I made the bottom part of the Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I didn't like it, and then I made the top part of it.
You didn't like it?
No.
Are
And I
you
made
saying?
the top part.
That is
And then
so
everyone
cool. I
decided,
love
well, why don't you make them all together? So that's what I did.
it.
Well,
Love that.
Looks good.
you have to make some clouds as well,
Uh, This took-
levitating on top.
I think this took way too long to print. And it's way too many parts. And then I messed up because I didn't have any resin to do the goo inside of it. So I think it was Photos, decided, why don't you use resin printing resin, the printer resin to do
It wasn't me.
the water. And I tried it, and it's not a good idea.
Yeah, it stays a bit sticky, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's still
I mean,
sticky.
Yeah.
So
The smell is accurate though.
yeah. So I actually made a base for it, so it's not too sticky. So yeah.
Have you
gorgeous. I
considered
love it.
making a Ghostbuster station?
Oh, I have that. I have done it. I've
Oh, you
never.
have?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, I've never finished it, so I actually have it somewhere. Oh God.
Some people will make stores, and Fred is going to make a museum in the end because he's going
I
to be
have
out of
way
space.
too much. I made a new, Waxer hexagons for his
Yeah.
minis.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're cool, but they're way too small for my diorama. So actually, I modeled a new version of it that's 18 centimeters wide, so I can actually put my dioramas on the wall. So that's the pole for the and then these two go together like this. Yeah, so that's the structure. There's God, I've never finished this one. So there's a cabinet for their clothes.
Oh,
Yeah. And I have the doors, and then I've done tons of bits for this, but it wasn't great. The symbol, the reactor. So I just need to finish it off and put it together. But I haven't had the time, so that's why I haven't actually published this one. I even got the.
What are you afraid of?
It's not really printable, so I need to fix it.
You're supposed to say you're not afraid of ghosts.
Doesn't
No.
matter.
No.
If it's not printable, it's fine.
No. Ask Alex. Last time I tried to do when I did a Breaking Bad diorama ages ago, and then I think Alex tried it 2 times to print the table on it until we got it right because it wasn't printable. So I don't like doing shipping dioramas that people can't print properly. So I have way more that I haven't actually released.
Well, I will just show you what I'm doing because I have to leave so the host come back.
Oh,
That's
Well,
cool.
it still needs a lot of work, but
That is awesome.
That's Hellboy, isn't it?
It's Carl from Hellboy. Yeah.
that's nice.
yeah, I still need to make lots of details here. You know, the cables, the everything, the code. It's not looking well. Come on, veteran.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah, still we need to make the code. It needs a lot of details yet. It's gonna be a bust, and I think it will be ready tomorrow. Hopefully.
I like him. He's quite cool. I just wish he had legs and arms.
I just wish I never met you. You crazy.
Why?
Because you want me to make only figures.
No.
Just
Veteran,
full size ones. That's all.
so the rest of the people, please.
Oh my god.
I know he's doing it on purpose now.
This is the
So-
midstream now.
Have you seen the comment from Filament Frenzy? Legs and arms are overrated.
Oh yes, there are.
Oh my god. I don't know.
Come
Like-
on, veteran. So the rest.
I can't even. I've never printed one of Wex's busts because
By
I
the
can't
way-
do busts.
By the way, my wife gave me a haircut.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm black pineapple.
Hell yeah. Did it.
Did you use my technique? Just cut the hair really badly and then she cut
Yeah,
cut
but
the rest.
you didn't see the best of all. Is it here?
What is it?
Oh, I thought that was just for the microphone would it rub.
That's the lockdown style. You know, you just do whatever.
Who's gonna see you except if you do a live stream?
I realized
Exactly.
I went like a week and a half without washing my hair, and I was like, oh,
Up and
probably
down,
should
mama.
do that.
Veteran, can you please show the rest? I will leave now.
I will leave. He's making them stay.
Oh, he's leaving. He's leaving. No, he just
Right.
turned off the lights.
Rage quit.
Going to bed.
No, come on. Just
I can't-
talk us
I can't-
about.
I can't. I have to say bye. Okay. Bye.
Oh my god.
That was good.
That was very good.
Alright, so let me share something now. This just came off the bed basically. I messed up. I'm missing an arm, but
Oh,
Oh, that's
dude.
nice.
and this was done with the Chaos Red from Chaos Cortec, and it is beautiful. This light does not do it justice.
That is
It's
awesome.
gorgeous. It looks like it has like undertones of black. Is that?
It has sparkles in it.
Ah,
I don't know if that helps or makes it worse.
I know it looks
that's
cool.
so cool.
It's like real
Oh
sunlight.
my god.
So will you leave it unpainted then? With the
Yes, that is not getting painted at all.
Nice. Awesome. That's
That's
beautiful.
really cool.
Who made that
Yes.
model?
That was from what was that page I left open? Now I lost it. Was it Artistic Armor? I believe it was.
Oh, cool.
Artisan Guild. There you go.
Cool.
What'd you print
Oh,
that
yeah.
on?
What was that?
What'd you print it on?
That was on my Railcore.
Okay, nice.
I don't know. I got a dragon the other day, and I started thinking, well, I should print it, and then I ended up giving up. Like I was talking last week with Waxer, I actually this week I said no more models for me. I'm going to stop buying models because like I have 250 gigs of files and I've not printed a single model that I've bought.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
he promised me that he's not gonna buy anything anymore, and then this stream started like, yo, I bought like dragons. Okay.
yeah, no. I sponsored someone with, and if they finish their Kickstarter, that's fine. But I'm not committed to any more crowdfunding models. It's just like I just don't. I look at the models; they're great, and then I start saying, okay, I need to print this and this and this diorama, so the Prusa is busy. And then I look at the resin printer and they go like, yeah, I have to print those models for those dioramas, so that's not going to happen. And then I start looking at them and I go like, it's just too much hassle.
Yeah.
So
Gonna have to fix up that ender.
no way. I've spent way too much money on it. Are you kidding me?
That's exactly how I
Really?
thought about my CR10.
And me too. I had a CR10 that was cursed as well.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'll
Like,
never buy
100
Creality again because of it.
So I had
This
an
dragon
Ender
wasn't
3.
that bad.
Mm,
No, I can't say bad things about Creality because honestly, my first printer was an Ender 3, and it printed non-stop, 24/7. Because I do manage every single print so that I never have the printer stopped. Never, it's never stopped. So the CR10 printed non-stop, and it just started parts breaking, and I just started replacing it. And at one point, I actually just said no. And I bought a second one because I was stupid enough to buy a second one, and that one's dead now. So, no. Well,
It was actually the Baby Yoda, probably.
It killed everybody.
My CRT, I just could never. I mean, it was one thing after another. I got an ABL, but then I fried the motherboard, so I bought a new motherboard. Then I had to buy a new power supply. Then I had to buy a new bed. It was just one thing. At that point, I should have just bought a Prusa just because of the amount of money that I pumped into it. But I was
Oh,
trying to go
man.
cheap for my first printer, but I wanted the size. So, but I got the Anycubic Mega or the Mega X, and I'm really enjoying that. I wasn't gonna stir away from Prusa, but I had a good deal, so I got that, and I have the Pro Max 4, which they're not making anymore, but I'm still really liking that one too.
I don't know. I was convinced by everyone else in the Discord to get the Prusa, and honestly, to me, I think it's a bit like Waxer. I just can't be bothered. I just want to send a file to the printer,
Right.
just print it, and just can't even be bothered trying to fiddle with it or level the bed. God,
I agree.
how many nights I've spent trying to level a Ender 3 bed just to say, well, I'll just do it tomorrow.
Well,
And
I
that
like
just-
when you were
Me,
like,
my
I gotta level my bed, but I gotta go to for your work. You would leave right for the week, and so you wouldn't be able to do it until you came back.
and I was away from home 3 days in Dublin, so that was 3 days that I wasn't printing, and then come back on a Wednesday evening, and so I can't. I have way too many dioramas to print. Yeah,
I
it's
love
basically
my
waxers.
I got 3 of them now, and I love them. But I agree, it's one of I'm the same way where I needed to be able to just print and not worry about it in order for it to be quality prints. If I'm going to be shipping, like I had one board where it had like one line right here where the wall split a while ago. I'm not going to send that out. That's not quality print to me. So I'll sell it for $5 less as like a minor mistake, but I'm not going to sell it as one that someone bought for full price. But for my Prusas, I don't have to worry about that. That's never happened once.
I just, David was saying my Ender 3 runs beautifully. And again, I have some of the best prints I've ever done in my Prusa. Like the Predator that's behind me was all printed in the Ender, and it's brilliant. Like, brilliant. I've printed the head and the hands at 0.605, and it was just beautiful. But the thing is, when you're printing 24/7,
Mhm.
non-stop for a year, it starts falling apart. Like the bed wasn't even crooked. It was just it was like this, correct? And the thing is, yeah, you can buy tons of Enders for the price of the Prusa, but at the end of the day, depending on what you do, I've just advised someone to buy an Ender 3 because it's 100 and something pounds. It's cheap as hell, correct?
It's definitely cheap. I mean, it's an entryway into it if you
Yeah,
not into 3D printing, which I was fine with. Like that's why I did this year. I learned a lot from it, and it's not like I haven't had to mess with my Mark IIIs. I mean, I've fiddled with them too, but it's a lot less. Like the bed leveling process for me has been. I mean, it was a nightmare with my CR10. With these, it's been okay. I mean, I don't care to do the knob piece on the Anycubics that I have, but even doing that, just the way that the frame is set up differently, and essentially the frame is almost similar to the Prusa, where I don't know the T bars I didn't care for on my CR10.
I don't know. I was just Color Fab just posted something today about someone printing on with their PLA, and it was a printer called Stacker.
Never heard of it.
It's a $10,000 printer.
Yeah.
And it looked awesome, but I just said, yeah, 10,000. If I had enough money, I would probably buy a couple of Race 3D printers, correct? But that's a completely different level. So I guess you get what you pay for.
Right. And so I
I'm
mean,
so
I
far,
agree.
I'm
Tinkering
happy.
is fun. It's
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where if you have a deadline to get something out to a customer, I don't want to tinker.
No, yeah. I think it depends on the level that you're on, correct? Like when I started, and again, I remember I was talking with my daughter, and I was saying, well, I'm thinking about buying a 3D printer, and I'm going to spend 140 pounds on it. And she said, well, I think that's an acceptable amount of money. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's, just an amount you can deal with. But as you get into stuff like Waxter, like he's Prusa guy, correct? Like,
Fanboy.
yeah, fanboy. But I understand why. You can't actually waste any time, correct? Like you, Alex. If you're doing stuff for customers, you can't just waste time, correct?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if I need to get something out on Monday and it takes me till Sunday to fix my printer, I mean, depending on what the print is, I'm not going to have time to do that, right? I mean, we all know that this. I mean, I do essentially print on demand. I don't keep any of this stuff in stock unless, because I mean, who knows if someone doesn't want it? But
Wait. How many Bruces does he have? Because that's bollocks, correct? Like he must have a couple of Bruces.
Yeah, Tom, how many Pruses do you have?
Yeah, I've seen some of his pictures.
I mean,
he has.
Like those that you can mention.
Yeah. He has some kind of how you call it.
We're not gonna talk about Excel or MMU3 and stuff like that.
Yeah. But he has some fancy Pruses, correct? Now, I think it depends on what you want to do. And I think for anyone to start, budget printers are good. I got a Photon 2 months ago.
Mhm.
And it's fine for me to start. Waxer is like Master Yoda. He's already got an SL1, correct?
Yeah.
But we common mortals, we get a Photon.
I have a Photon. I'm too messy for my resin printer. I don't compartmentalize everything I need to have like in certain spots. Resin just gets everywhere. It's the worst. I can't do it.
Oh man.
It's really something I have
Yeah.
to be careful with. Yeah, I have resin.
I know. I'm always extra careful. I'm like half naked, almost like Walter White kind of situation. I mean, I've mentioned that probably a bunch of times already, but like all in my underwear, and I'm in the kitchen, and I'm like, shaking everything, and then I look through the window, and like people are all just passing.
See, I like suit up. I put a mask on. I have like everything laid out, so there's like a bit on the table where it's all clean, and I like have all things in special compartments. I do everything over disposable aluminium baking trays, which I figure I'll just throw out when it gets too dirty. But I've had it for like 2 years now, so I guess I don't know when too dirty is. But please tell me what to do.
He's wearing pajamas. They're blue. Yeah.
I hate pants. Everything I wear is a dress or a skirt because I just can't stand having things on my
I also hate pants. Yeah.
They're terrible. Dresses all the way. Dresses are great. You just have one item that you have to put on. Like, that's one thing to think about. You just put on a dress and everyone thinks you've dressed up. Everyone should wear dresses. We should just
That's why I like the Scottish, correct? They yeah. Go. Bye. See you later. Sorry. No, I like the Scottish because they don't wear pants and they're happy with it.
Yeah, like breeds and everything. Like,
yes.
It's all great.
To be honest, resin. I've been trying resin prints for like a month and a half. I just find it so bloody expensive.
Yeah.
Didn't we do the
I
math?
had a
But
resin
everything
printer
was-
back in the day and just turned me off to resin printing.
I've printed I'm doing this Star Wars Battle of Hoth diorama. So Photos gave me a link to a My Mini Factory AT&T, and I've printed the whole thing. It's like several plates of parts. I have 2 boxes full of it, and I got tons of stuff, and it's really cool. But basically, I have ran through 1 liter of resin in less than 5 days, and it's just like 38 pounds. That's just insane. It just
Are you hollowing your models?
Yeah.
Wow. Dang. Yeah. I guess I just print really small things. I have resin that I'm worried about it going off.
Yeah, Fred just doesn't stop. He just prints all the time.
Wow.
My printers. So in my past, I've worked in industries, in manufacturing, and one of the things I've learned is a machine that stopped for an hour is an hour that never ever comes back to you.
Yep.
So I will never have a printer stopped if I actually have work for it. And I unfortunately have work for all of the printers every time. If I had the Android 3 working, it would be printing.
So do you have Octoprint or something set up so that you can?
I do have Octoprint on the Prusa, on the Ender. I haven't set up anything on the Photon, and I hate.
It's not for the Gina hasn't made it for the Photon anyway.
I hate the fact that I can't. I have to go to the other side of my desk to actually send something. I have 4 Raspberry Pi set up for the Octoprint because I really like it. It's just much better.
Gina's a mate of mine, and she bought a Photon maybe 6 months ago, and she was like, I don't want to talk about it on social media because if I do, everyone will ask me to make Octoprint for the Photon. But I think she did end up talking about it, and people did ask her, and she was like, no, sorry, because it's like a totally different. It's just a totally different thing. Like it would, just be a nightmare.
I've actually read that you can actually use a Raspberry Pi W. I actually have 2. And use it as a replacement to the USB stick. So you can actually send files through the network to it to store. But you still have to go to the other side to press the print button, which is just, come on.
Not much point then, really, is there?
No, it's a bit annoying.
Once you set up a little robot finger that can, tap the screen for you.
But it's just so, when I got the Prusa, I didn't have the Raspberry Pi. So I was basically sending stuff to the Ender 3. And I was just like, what? I have to put these things in an SD card and wait. It's not a micro SD card. So any adapter that I have from Ender does not work. And it's a basically massive SD card. And it's just like, what? I just had to get the Raspberry Pi because I just can't cope with it. It's just so much better. And I just wish there was a server, a centralized system where you could actually just control all the Raspberry Pis and could just see what's printing, and you could just say, I've tried it, but it's
not so much.
I don't know.
I know another guy who got them farmed in a different way. He's on the 3D printing Discord. I could, put you in
Race
touch.
3D has a new system that uses Raspberry Pis to do that.
Mhm.
It's so
Joe did
much
a video on
better.
it.
I don't know. At the moment, I only have one printer, so there's no really point. Sorry, give me a second.
I was using Raspberry Pi with Octoprint when I had CR10, and I just didn't like the power I had. So
The
I like
power?
it.
Like the power.
Oh, you like putting things into it.
Too much power. Oh, Ben is here. So I don't know how many of you know this guy.
I think I've seen him around. He's on Twitter.
Like, I remember when he first contacted me for my Jurassic Park gate. I had no clue that a year later I will look at his images of food every single day and draw like crazy. Thank you. He does really cool stuff on his Twitch. I hate looking at food when it's so far away.
I'm the
And I'm
same.
constantly hungry.
Stand to be teased. He's apologizing. No, it's awesome. It's great. You inspire.
Now I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. I just woke up and
Yeah, I was eating like 2 hours ago. That was like third dinner I had.
dinner. You're like a hobbit.
Like my wife asked me like, "Are you not hungry?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna eat in 5 minutes in the different room. Leave me alone." Oh, I'm so sad.
Aww.
So,
Is Fred
Fred,
talking?
your mic is muted. There you
Hello?
go. Yeah.
I had Portuguese stew for dinner and deep fried cod thingies. They're awesome.
You know what I noticed is with every glass of gin that you're drinking, one more button keeps coming undone on your shirt.
Yes. See, it's for the late night show.
It's a drinking game. I love a drinking game.
Too bad this thing doesn't have like slow motion, so I can like zoom in on him. And...
We might need to host it on a different website.
Yes. Yes. No, I think last week
YouTube After Dark.
last week was way worse. I've actually not drank half a bottle of gin like I've drank half a bottle last week. But I blame Fotis for that. So Waxer is way more kind calm and social than
Yes, I'm normal. Ish.
Well, come on, I wouldn't take it that far, you know. Just
Come on.
oh god. Also, I was talking with this guy on Twitter today. He does these amazing Stargate models, and he has this puddle jumper, and it's just brilliant. And he sells them, and he was on Twitter, and he had this picture of a puddle jumper, and the base is a Stargate section, the gate itself. Oh my god, it was so cool.
I totally forgot about Puddle Jumper. In that first episode, when they are talking about the name Puddle Jumper, like it was so funny. Like,
I want to do one. I really want to do model one. I just need to finish all my other models. God. I was talking with Fotis, and he was saying, "Oh, you need to finish up the models you do." And I was going like, "Yeah, but I always find something else to do, so I never finish the things I'm working on." It's like Fernando did the bat wing for the bat cave. I haven't even finished the thing.
But I feel like I want to be a little bit more like you because I seem to always concentrate on just one model, and until that one is done and printed, I can't seem to move on.
Yeah, but
I
then
was like that. I remember like I was doing one model and I couldn't do anything else until I finish it. And then one day Eastman is like just showing me images of every model he started and he didn't finish. I mean, they are almost like 90% finished, but he's like, no, I'm just skipping to something else. And I'm like, dude, you're so weird. What is wrong with you? And
Oh, don't be
now
mean
I'm
to
doing the
Eastman.
exact same thing. I really hate it. Like I start one model and then I see something on Facebook. Yes, I'm that old. I'm still on Facebook. And like, oh, I could model that thing. Then I start that and like, oh,
yeah,
page refreshed. There's something else now.
I just no. What I do is I see something cool, I put it on Google Keep. I just put the reference images on Google Keep, leave it there. Otherwise, I know I'm going to start doing it. Like I have started the ATTE from Star Wars, and I have like after 20 hours, I just said, okay, I'm going to stop it.
I also have two lists on Google Keep. One for the things to print and one for the things to model.
Oh yeah, God, I have.
I have so many lists. I use ZenKit, which is like you can view the same content in lots of different ways, but I use sort of a Kanban board, like, you know, to doing done kind of thing. And there are multiple boards with many, many, many projects on each. And I have so many things half done. Like I have a half done Octoprint poster and a half done Marlin poster and I don't know. I can't even talk about them all. There's actually so many half done things. It's really bad. But I have ADHD, so I have an excuse. I recently discovered this about myself, that I have ADHD, so I'm just using that as a reason for everything.
Can if I have a lot of stuff going on, can I just say that?
I mean, it's highly underdiagnosed in our age group, so you never know.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Yeah,
it made a lot
we
of
have a
sense in my
little
life
board
make
up
sense.
there that.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey,
Hey, Jesse.
Oh my God.
Oh, yesy.
God, this is going crazy.
Oh, and Ninja Rob joined in too.
Oh, hey.
Cheers. Hey. My other
Dude,
one's
so many cool people
I
here.
ran out of wine.
Everyone, come to VRRF tomorrow. I'm going to do
like
a
5. I'm about
deal,
to.
but come hang out with us tomorrow.
But Billy, I have the same problem that I have so much stuff that I actually have spreadsheets where I say, okay, this stuff has to be modeled, this stuff has to be cut, this stuff has to be printed, this stuff has to be painted, and I'm running out of space to actually store the stuff that I printed because there's so much.
Shed.
I've
You have
started
to start
printing
altering off
boxes.
even models.
I printed boxes to store all the dioramas because there's so many I can't cope with it anymore. It's just like, oh God.
And my online stuff is like, in addition to like bullet journals and stuff that I have, like filled with ideas of stuff. Like so many. There's just too many ideas. Too
I'm
little
gonna
focus.
post link again for the Discord, Billy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I know I'm doing a hard sell, but it'll be really fun. I want to hang out.
Billy,
with
you know what the biggest issue with this quarantine thing has been? Finding out that I don't actually have notebooks to write all the stuff.
Oh no! See,
So
my biggest issue
basically-
is finding out I don't have self-discipline. So
I tend to steal notebooks from the office, and basically in the last 5 weeks I haven't been in the office, and I go like, what? No more notebooks. So I went on Amazon and said, bloody hell, notebooks are expensive. I've just ordered 12 of them because I just need to write everything down. Otherwise, and like, oh God.
Someone save that clip and send it to his company. He's stealing from the company.
That doesn't mind. They don't give a crap. Who
he
was
makes
it?
up
I
for
think,
by slave driving people.
Yeah.
I think it was Old
They're
Salty because
related, it's not for his company.
Yeah.
Well, we were posting pictures of dogs yesterday on Discord, correct? Like, it's fine. We all, you know, as long as everyone's having fun and we're getting work done, nobody cares. So it's all good, all good. But I won't say the name of the company if you guys want to try and talk with my boss.
Darn.
Damn it! No, not saying it.
Are you all locked in your homes, or actually someone goes out? I mean, I'm at home at my place like I think, for a week and a half now, and I love it. I
So
don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to think about, oh, I need to run here and there. Everything is fine. I have a bike behind. I turn on I have like StreamYard for the company, so I turn it on and I have it open for like 7-8 hours per day, and then that's it. Like, I don't move a lot. I mean,
Well, we noticed that.
then we
Come
should be
on.
getting more models here in this month, right? Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Ooh.
that would be great.
Yeah.
But
you say
unfortunately,
you
I have few trailers that I'm doing, and I'm capturing a lot of footage these days, so I'm
Yeah.
actually
Yeah, back.
working. But maybe later this month.
No. I would say 90% of the time I'm staying in the house. I have to go to the post office to drop off packages, and I also have to go to get more filament. It's just cheaper from the Micro Center, which is just a store down the street. And I can get a roll of any of the colors that I use for $14 US. So I mean, it's much cheaper than buying it on Amazon, and I can get it day of. They only let 5 people in. They only let 5 people in the store at one time, though.
Oh God, no, yeah, I haven't left the house in five weeks.
Yeah, you look really happy.
I
I've
just
only
can't
been going
complain.
out for groceries.
You have
'Cause my
not.
wife is too afraid to go out. No, I'm the only one that's gone out for groceries.
Yeah,
Right,
but if I was where
usually
you
my
are,
wife goes.
In New York, I would be staying inside.
Yeah,
yeah,
true then.
that's the only reason why I go out.
So
Are they giving people tickets yet?
I heard they're giving $500 tickets.
Wow, it's $1,000 in certain counties here in Georgia.
Damn.
Yeah, $1,000 or 12 months in jail. I saw the Philippines; they'll shoot you.
Gotta have your letter, man.
okay.
well,
But
here in the UK, you get a £60 fine, but if you caught a second time, that doubles, and it keeps on doubling and doubling and doubling.
Wow.
But then again, you could always say, yeah, I'm going to the supermarket or I'm going somewhere, and I guess nothing happens. But yeah,
Depends how they catch you.
well, yeah, I don't know. I've just been driving around the farm with the car so that they're not stopped, because it's just not great to have the car stopped for 4 weeks. So
do you have livestock at all?
no,
No chickens?
nothing. We just
Me
have
neither.
the livestock. Well, we'll have the dog.
If you eat the dog, I would be.
No,
little
you probably
concerned.
eat me before I eat him. Like, see the side of him is 40 kilos. He's mental. Dog from
He's a
hell.
big dog.
Yeah. No, I guess, we have everything stocked, and the supermarkets, like my daughter goes to the supermarket once a week, and they're now properly stocked. There's toilet paper, as surprising as it might seem,
I've seen those videos. That's funny.
by your local mayor. I think it was in Italy. They were singing at the windows,
Hmm.
Yes.
and someone tried to do it here in London, and basically the neighbor said, "Just shut the F off," and start screaming at him. And I was like, "Yeah,
Happened in New
that's
York.
London."
Here in
Does
Melbourne, here in Melbourne, something similar happened. People, instead of singing though, were just screaming out the window, just like lots of people all screaming together. Yeah.
Oh man.
The thing is, I don't even. I might scream out the window, but nobody's going to listen because there's nobody around. So basically, yeah. It's like even my father. I was telling on Discord, like his birthday was today, and he's by himself, middle of nowhere. And
Oh, man.
We counted 8 dogs. That
yeah, 8
counts.
dogs. Yeah,
8 dogs.
8 dogs. But like he was on WhatsApp, and yeah, there's nobody in the next 7 miles around him, and it's weird. Like on old people, like old Salty was saying, it's really hard on old people. But yeah, I told him, you're not getting out of the house, and you're not seeing anyone. So tough luck. Oh, what are they saying on the chat? Is Photos being mad and mean to everyone?
What day is today? Friday? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Usually Fridays he's the worst.
It's the end of the
Yeah.
week. all built up.
So David is from London.
Wonderful.
Well, I'm in Cambridge, David. So I'm in the sticks. Basically, I only have farmland in front of me, sheep's, two, and they're not livestock. They're like pet animals.
I'm trying, man. I am trying so hard to find a cure.
I just don't understand it. Like they look like really nice printers, but after all this time, they're still having issues.
Yeah,
you,
man.
you have like Filament Frenzy in chat here. Use him for advices.
Is he using? Oh God! Just don't say that on live stream.
Ooh, ooh. Don't touch the hot end with your finger.
Oh, I got.
Sorry.
That took me a moment. I'm like, what? Oh dear.
That's what happens when we have live streams. It actually goes
What's up?
worst.
We're doing like a.
I have officially have filament coming out of my nozzle. So
Wait,
I'm
wait.
100% better than I was on Tuesday.
Good.
Okay, that's positive.
Hell yeah.
You see, it's the moral support that we're giving you.
I'm telling you guys, without you, I'd be
Yeah.
lost right now.
Yeah, thank you for this.
Yes, Fotis, thank you. I would be turning in my grave, I assure you.
So, where is it? I was trying. I think I had another diorama that I haven't shown to everyone, but I don't know where the parts are. So, I'll send this to Wexter, and he'll
Look.
share this.
He's getting fired.
I got my notice that I was fired, so
Yeah.
I told him that he'd pretty much do everything, and I really am just a note. I
Happy
hit print.
belated birthday to her, by the way.
They said happy birthday, and she said, "Wexter, she loves your stuff."
And congrats on doing like basically the whole business.
They said,
Yeah.
congrats on
She
doing
cannot
basically the
hear
whole
it.
business.
Pro power.
It's 2020. It's a woman-owned company.
Well,
so
maybe she should sit there.
Yeah,
yeah, she
Alex,
should. You want her
fuck it
instead?
off. Fuck it
Hey,
off.
we gotta swap out. All right, Gracie, get over here. All the women do all the work here. Me and Alex.
That-
are just a bunch
They
of
want you
phones.
on here. Yeah, they want you on here.
Come on.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Oh, she's gonna join. She got back from the gym, so she's been slinging mulch. She does everything around the house.
Hi.
Oh, hey, Gonzo.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
So,
So
we
we
heard
were
that
saying
you
to
do
Alex.
everything.
I'm pretending like I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get at
yeah.
it.
She tells us to do basically everything. So
Pretty much. Yeah. I pretty much tell him what to do. Like, we have a Kanban board going, and he's like, I don't need that. It's all up here in the trap. I'm like,
It's in the trap.
that steel trap is not what it used to be. Yeah.
Well,
I like her already.
Oh, man. So what are you guys doing on this?
we're just talking
Just
bullshit.
chatting.
Hanging out, basically.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, we're actually saying good things about your work and how cool your painting is.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I've actually seen some of the models you've done. I know Alex is useless as painting stuff or mostly everything.
He's bad. He's bad. He tries, but
Yeah, I know. But we were just saying, just give
he
up.
has a
Let
good
her
heart.
run the business.
yeah. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
No, this is great. I
Thank you.
wish my wife actually even looked at 3D printing. She just goes like, oh, another one. Okay.
Well, I did at first, so it was kind of a hobby, and Alex did it all the time and was spending a lot of money that I did not think he should be spending. So I was like, you need to learn how to turn this into a business, be a little productive, work with some people rather than sitting in your man cave all day alone. So yeah. So y'all have helped him out. Yeah. And we can do it together, so it's fun.
You definitely need to be in our next stream.
Who?
I mean, I like everything what you just said.
But you see,
It's just getting phased out.
no, yeah, Alex, just move out. Just get away. Like,
They're telling you you're being phased out.
Pretty much.
yeah.
Bye bye.
But this
Oh, man.
pisses me off because, and honestly, just the other day, my wife was bored. She had nothing to do, and I said, "Look, I have tons of minis that I need painting and dioramas that I need painting. Could you help me out?" And she said, "No." And then she come back to the office and said, "Can you print me some stuff so I could paint with some crayons?"
Fred, just a moment. Just look at this.
Yay, Tracy!
Look at
Hey,
this.
everybody. Am I muted?
Yeah.
I can't tell. What's that?
There's something terribly wrong. So I don't know what I've done wrong. Like,
It's great. We finally have girls here.
yes,
Actually, we have just as many girls as guys, so this is a good
Yeah.
thing.
I think that's very positive. And there's
Yeah.
two things that I've noticed that both you guys said that none of the other guys said, which is you have boards where you organize your stuff.
Oh yeah.
This is
Yeah.
one of the reasons that every time I had to hire either a project manager or a product owner, I've never hired a guy. They're not organized at all. They're very disorganized.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I'm a project manager, like at my real job. So this is kind of. I was like, why don't you have a Kanban board? And he goes, a what?
Well,
I was like, "Ah, what? Yeah.
I literally have a Kanban board for all my random crafty crap too. We were
Yeah.
just talking about it before
Guys.
you got on the stream. So
It's true.
God.
works, you know?
Yeah, of course it does. You know, like when you ask Waxer, what are you going to do next month? He goes like, no clue.
I always have a clue, but I'm not gonna spoil everything because you do that kind of stuff. I mentioned something, and he's like, "Oh, there you go, the armor is done," and I'm like sculpting the head still.
Oh man.
But, you know, like I don't know. I just have way too much time on to do stuff. So like even this week, Photos was saying, "Yeah, you know, I'm going to do this diorama," and like 2 days later, yeah, here's the mock-up. I just have
Can
too
it-
much meetings online, so I just have too much time to go and do stuff. But you're just
Yeah,
like,
I still cannot show any of that stuff, right?
well, you can show the butcher is printing.
Okay.
Just show the butcher, the last one. You can show it, share it.
Okay, boss. Just give me a second.
He's just like, you see, girls, he's just useless. I'm like,
Ooh.
Ooh, I really like that archway.
Mhm.
yeah, that's for the Photos did the butcher from the Diablo, and I'm currently printing the gate.
Is that a
It's-
render? Or
Yeah, that's a render from Fusion.
nice.
You could do the bovine spirit from the bovine hammer or axe or whatever it is, and then we can print it in that really nice, like translucent filament. That would look really cool.
I was actually looking at. I actually got some translucent filament, and I'm going to print the lava, and then I'm going to make a base and put some LEDs underneath it to see if it actually.
Very cool.
Mhm.
So that's one. Show them the Yoda one. Because
Is it okay for this?
yeah. Well, the Yoda is
Well,
done.
all the girls are here. Might as well.
Yeah. I
well,
need
you know.
Just give me a second.
So, we were talking about it, and Yoda the Fotis has done a Yoda, so I did this diorama for the Yoda,
Oh, cute.
Oh.
and there's a model that's missing. So you know, if Fotis actually
It's gonna be a baby Yoda. Looking at
I still haven't printed this or figured out how am I going to print that back wall because it's a curved part and it needs to be printed as one, but we'll figure it out. And the other one, yeah, let's just keep it a secret for next week. Otherwise, I need to work harder and get
So
more
is this weekly?
dioramas done. Huh?
Is this weekly, this stream?
Well, we've done it 3 times already, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, you were lazy 2 weeks ago, but we did the 3 weeks last week and this week.
Dude, I'm always lazy. I
I
can't
know.
push myself. I don't wanna have this power. You remember what happened with Octoprint?
I think it's cool because we were saying the other day, you know, everyone's stuck at home and there's not a lot of stuff happening. And I was telling Wexer, well, you know, let's just go online and do something. At least even if we talk just crap, at least people are interacting, correct? And last week on Friday, he went to bed early, I think at midnight, and I think me, Fernando, and Fotis stayed up until 3 in the morning.
Dude, it was like 2 a.m. when I went to bed.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 a.m. there.
for
Yeah.
him.
1 a.m. here. Yeah, like 5 o'clock in New York or something like that. So
Well, I
it's still
think we ended
daylight
like
when you
that.
went to bed. So,
Oh man,
So-
y'all should make this like a happy hour, a 3D printed happy hour.
yeah, I actually talking about happy hour. I actually need to get more tonic because I ran out of tonic and ice. I'll be right
Do you
back.
know what?
1 second.
Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, it was 5 a.m. for photos when we finished.
Look, Alex, he's so sad.
In the background, fading away.
Wow, I'm never joining and hanging out with you guys ever again. Well, I don't even know if I feel welcome back.
Have you back, Alex.
Oh,
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Hi, Spencer.
you're
Well,
back.
Where's the
Yay.
hang up button on here? I can't even figure it out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't read it.
No, it's okay.
How you know? Next time you need 2 headsets.
Exactly.
Yeah, and yours is gonna be muted, so
I don't really offer much anymore now that I think about it.
you know you're gonna be like that guy from Pet Shop Boys, you know, the one who is in the back and he's just nodding.
You know how you started designing last week? Maybe you should start looking into that some more.
Should look into doing something else. Hey, so my job, the way that I look at it in this company is delegation, right? Literally
I call
delegated
that bollocks.
everything to her.
That's I would say that's the other way around. That's just me.
Yeah, I have to keep way on top of this timeline.
She does. She keeps me on top
Tom,
of
you've
everything.
missed a lot.
Oh,
Well, we found out that everyone hates me, is what it is.
No, we don't hate you. We just like your better half more.
Better,
More.
yeah.
yeah. We just think that she's way more effective and brings way more value to your business.
Oh, I want to hug him. This is so terrible.
No, that's fine.
It's like,
Billy.
here's the table. She brings everything to it. You're like way over there. So
Yeah.
You're just hanging out in the chair. That's cool.
No, you're just on Discord more often, correct? So that's
that's true. Yeah, she doesn't like social media. So that's just the one thing. I help get her an email. That's about it.
You're the marketing.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
usually the place that gets cut first in a pandemic.
I wish that was true.
What do you do?
wish
I
so.
click on a mouse. I open emails.
I think I'm funnier than I am too. So that's what I feel like. My captions are good. But that's about it. She can probably come up with better than I can.
Oh, God, your TikTok toilet paper, that was a hit.
Yeah.
I'll give
Well, it
you
was
that.
great on TikTok. It was nowhere else did it really go well. I like 200,000 views. I've never had anything that gets 200,000 views before, and it just happened to be that one video. Then I posted something else right after, and it has 194 views. So there's definitely discrepancy there in terms of what I post.
But
I'm
that's
always surprised by what takes off and what doesn't. Like, because I came from Reddit, where stuff can hit the front page and then or just get nothing, and it's always a surprise. Like, you can spend months on something and be super proud of it and be like, I put loads into this, I think it's really cool, and it just gets no views. And then you like throw something together in an afternoon and it like straight to the front page. It's like
Yep.
it's so bizarre. Like
There's
it's
no
just
rhyme or
Like
reason to
everything
it.
I did, that's what you like. Like
yeah,
really?
it's really bizarre. It's like, okay, internet, you weirdos. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
never really know. Apart from like posting at the right time, like posting when people are on. Other than that, it seems it's still a total mystery to me. And like I've had some good scoring posts, but like I can't see what's different about them to everything else. Like
Right.
it's just bizarre. Like who knows?
it is. But I think it was last Friday. Patreon did this live stream, and our CEO was talking about it, and so he was saying he spent like 3 months doing an album, like really dedicated to the album, and then he did this kind of video and music to intro the album. The album got nothing. But the intro got a buttload, like massive. And the intro was done in 24 hours. Like I was telling Waxer, like the Sonic diorama got tons of views. And things that I expected were way more popular weren't. And yeah, I haven't figured out. And I actually did run through the numbers on an Excel spreadsheet. I still can't figure out what actually makes
Look,
people
I was
take.
doing short films, so I had to like organize all the people, locations. We shoot that. I spent weeks editing that, adding special effects. I throw that on YouTube, and it has like 2,000 views. I post my cat, and I put a flame behind her, like she's farting flame. It goes like crazy.
That doesn't surprise me at all, actually.
No.
Yeah, anything with cats.
Well, I mean, I
Especially
think,
farting flames.
yeah.
Yeah, that means come on. That was always going to be a winner.
Anything that has comedic value is what's really going to drive likes and views. And it's the people who, if they have a video, it waits to the very last second and to show the comedic high point, and then right when that happens, it cuts off. So you have to watch it again in order to see it again, right? So that's how you get those more views, from what I've seen at least.
But like
Interesting.
my daughter just posted, my oldest one posted a TikTok video,
Mhm.
and she has 21,000 likes on it.
Dang.
What the hell is wrong with that?
Oh, was this the?
I mean, that's amazing. Like, obviously, that would do well.
Yeah, of course.
That's incredible.
You
Cat.
should post that on TikTok. I'm sure you'll get a lot of views.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. Something's terribly wrong with the internet.
Nah, it's great.
For a while now, yeah.
Yeah, that's not something new.
No, it isn't. But like, even when I was saying to Waxer, when you, for example, look at Star Wars, and you say, well, Star Wars, there's a lot of people out there that like Star Wars. And then I posted the Star Wars diorama. And after a while, I posted 2 renders of Stargate. And on Reddit, the Stargate were like way more people liking it. Like,
The
I mean,
fandom runs deep. Well,
yes,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Indeed.
it's
really
interesting.
depends when you post stuff. Also, it's like you really need to follow all the like data. What's the best time when you could post something? Who you will tag? What kind of keywords you're gonna include for everything? It's so annoying.
I've done all of those. I've mapped everything that I posted, all the tags, every time, everything. It just not make any sense at all. There's no tag that actually is better than others. The Sonic diorama had no really additional tags to it, and it was way bigger than anything else.
I had high hopes that this will have a lot of views.
Oh my
and
god.
At the end, it had only 20,000 views. I mean, only. But it's like the greatest Star Wars fight ever.
What's this? I remember you shared the link to this, correct?
I mean, I choreographed that fight, so
we understood that.
Absolute swordsmanship.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I actually
Of
I used
course,
to do a
Spark
little bit of reenacting, and some of the guys actually knew how to do swordsmanship. I don't know what you call it, but they used to do like proper sword fighting, and it was like really interesting because it wasn't like how I actually expected, and it's very different to what's in films, and it's like kind of more of a dance almost. It's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Tangent. Sorry.
A Modern Rogue has a video that goes deep into that.
Oh, cool. Okay, check that out.
Yeah, I can't watch any medieval movies or anything with my brother anymore because he took broadsword classes. So now whenever he's watching, he's like, "Oh, well, that's not how you hold it," and I'm just like, "Dude, calm down."
Trying to enjoy this.
Like trying to enjoy it.
Well, it's like the people who were really upset whenever Kylo Ren's lightsaber had the hilt to it. And they were getting so upset about it. It's like, man, that's where you draw the line in Star Wars is the hilt.
Not
But
this total noob being able to hold her own against a Jedi, a Sith master. Like,
or the
it's
fact
just...
that light can go and stop at a certain point. I mean,
Yeah.
But if I do this, it's gonna cut off my hand. It's like whatever.
But Alex, that's a granted, correct? A lightsaber is a lightsaber. It exists.
Holy shit! I never thought about that. That
In
part
what way?
it actually stops at one
In
point.
the future,
It would have to be a mirror bouncing it back.
But it was a long, long time
realistic.
ago.
Dude, you ruined Star Wars for me.
I
Oh
ruined
my
Star
God!
But it's a galaxy far, far away. Maybe their physics are just totally
Exactly.
different.
You need to go back and make your Darth Vader lightsaber a lot longer because it's never gonna end.
Well, Alex, is like what you're saying that there's also no Stargate.
No, if
But
anybody's
that's just
close.
Meme.
Stop
You
this
know.
conversation. Can you get your wife back?
I'm gonna
Where's
ruin
the Jedi?
all nerdy
Just
stuff
go.
for
Just
everybody
go.
right now.
I gotta
God.
admit, I'm like that with costumes though. So I my first job was an apprentice at in a theater company, the state's
Ooh,
largest
cool.
theater
Oh,
company
that's
here.
cool.
Yeah, so I learned costume making and historical. I understand a lot of historical accuracy stuff. So whenever there's like a period set movie, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. They didn't have those buttons. They didn't
I
have those
can't watch
eyelets.
this
This is
anymore.
crazy. This corset
Ah.
is totally not right. Like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Like,
But there's the suspension of disbelief, right? Like that's my point. Is for like
Yeah.
Star Wars,
it's meant to be
obviously that lightsaber cannot go forever. They've made it where that's the thing. But the fact that you're going to say, oh, well, okay, cool. A good example is Superman, right? Like where someone goes, oh, well, Superman can't catch Lois Lane because if he catches Lois Lane like this, then she would be cut in half because of the way that the velocity comes. And it's like, but you're okay with the guy who can lift a mountain? I mean, like,
That's
like
Superman.
where do you
Oh,
draw a
God.
line?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
Look,
It's
I do
Superman.
videos.
It's Man of
Oh, man.
Steel.
I do videos for a very long time. I did photography. I do photography. I do all of that. And for me, when I see CSI things, when they zoom in into pixel and then
Hands.
Off a reflection.
enhance and then
Well, are you
everything
telling me
is
that's also
visible,
not
like,
true?
come on, I can't believe. Then
What-
okay,
Okay.
that's a normal. It's a show.
Can we just
You can do
stop
that.
this conversation? Because you
It's
guys are
fine.
ruining everything for us, correct? Like
But it sounds like you're losing your head.
Yeah.
my hair, yeah, I've
And-
been doing
and
that for a
then-
long time.
Then they do that like a reflection on the car, and then they do 360 because of reflections bouncing
And
off.
then I'm going to flip it. And now
I
you're going to be
cannot
able to read the license
Zoom
plate.
in on that
Yeah,
eyeball
zoom in
and
on the license plate.
of the
take
passenger.
that stuff like seriously. I was so pissed all the time for that kind of stuff, and then again I was like, okay, it's a show. It needs to be like that, just like hackers doing stuff, but
Yeah,
camera
that one
actual
bothered
stuff.
me.
Where
You mean
And
when you
then-
hack, it's
then
not like
police
Jurassic
shows
Park?
up.
this in the
Oh
background?
my god, the best
Police
hacker
shows up
Yeah.
one day and they're like, can you help us? We had a robbery in one gas station. Like, can you look at the footage and try to clean it a little bit? And it's like VGA. It's like this big. It's like the worst. It's potato camera, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, can you zoom in on that pixel? We need to see what he's carrying in that bag. Get out.
You
The
just
best
ruined
hacker
everything
thing
for
I
me.
ever saw was NCIS. Do you remember? It's like a TV
I
show.
love that show.
And there was Abby and the other nerdy guy. I can't remember his name, but Abby was like, there was someone hacking into the system, and they're like, "Oh no!" And then so she's
Good
like
and
tapping away on the keyboard, and then he like slides in beside her, and they're both typing on the same keyboard to like hack the guy
like a-
away.
It's like a piano keyboard.
And he just like pulls out the cable from the computer from the wall and like ends the whole scene. I was just like, oh my god. So funny. So funny. But I love that show. I mean, it was so silly, but it was great. I loved Abby.
I mean, it just shows you when people
But
don't
now-
understand.
Now, how community loses its shit when they see 3D printers in movies.
Oh,
I don't know, what was it? Avengers. It had what?
It was
net?
Like really dodgy.
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space had one with a gun.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's kind of
Yeah, it's in the future. I mean, you could
Oh,
say.
wow. Basically, it's in the future. It's fine. Come on, you
Yeah.
just said it was. I'm not talking with this gentleman anymore.
Well, you said Star
I'm
Wars,
getting
which we don't
confused.
know is a long, long time ago.
so it's in the past.
future. Oh, God,
Wars
I'm getting
is in the past.
confused.
Star
I'm
Wars is
blonde
in
on
the
the
past.
inside.
I guess we have to go by the star date, huh?
Yeah.
Because that's reliable too.
Yeah.
I think the Lucas actually wrote a long time ago in not so distant future. I should not. You should probably
Yes.
Google that.
Yes.
And
is.
people
like
kind of try to point him out that it doesn't make any sense what he wrote. Like what?
I don't like it.
I don't know. I think Stargates exist. So. We
I think
just
if
haven't been
anyone
told
is
about it.
close enough, it's Stargate.
Oh,
It's the closest.
can you guys look at this comment? First ever.
Oh my God. Holy moly.
Yes.
oh, you know which is another one that did a really bad? It was that Ocean's 8. Like out of the printer, all colored and perfectly transparent and everything.
Min has a point.
Can't say I watched that movie.
Ocean's 8 was terrible.
Ocean's 8. Which one was it?
That was the one with the
Is the- with
All-female
8 of them.
cast.
Thank you, Axel. That helped a lot.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday at dinner we were talking about the best movies ever. And my wife came back with Forrest Gump,
Jenna.
and she
Pretty
just
good movie. Takes you through a range of emotions.
run, Forrest, run. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing I know about it is that.
I love
You don't
that.
know life is like a box of chocolates?
And that Jen A's.
We goes together like peas and carrots. That was
But the
bad.
thing is, the kids have never. I think my youngest one has watched Forrest Gump, but my oldest one and her boyfriend don't even know what Forrest Gump is. They go like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" No. It's
Maybe you
not
could
cool.
put it on TikTok videos and they could watch it.
Yeah.
And, like,
through
yeah.
that.
Yeah, basically just put it on a mobile phone. They'll watch it. Correct. God.
It was really funny. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and she was saying how she has to school her kids from home now, and how one of them has her laptop and the other one has the older laptop, and the daughter that has the older laptop keeps saying the laptop is broken because it doesn't have a touch screen. It's broken. It doesn't work. And I was like, wow, that makes me feel old. I got a work laptop.
Half the
and
people are laughing at the story, half the people are laughing at the comment.
Ooh, I was also annoyed by 24 with
Keith Sutherland.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know how like quickly he's like on the phone, like I need this and that, and they're like just throws at his phone. Oh, immediately is there. So he's like connecting with something. Oh, I need this thing, and it's quickly. If someone asks me, can you post some image? Can you send it through email? It's gonna take me 5 minutes just to figure out where this thing is. I have problems connecting my phone with YouTube when I need to. It takes me like 2 minutes, and I imagine like every second, like they do something. It's so annoying all the time. I hate that because everyone is apparently much better at this thing than I am. Except Alex, no, he's just clicking on email.
Yeah, Alex is. Yeah, but that's Alex.
Welcome back.
I'm doing like real work on top of fake work right now. So
Real.
What? Wait. You are doing real work on top of fake work.
I consider printing my fake work.
Oh, okay.
It's a side gig, but like no, I place doctors as a real job. So there's a company that's trying to see if we can place a doctor in St. Martin right now. But I don't think we work there. That's why I was responding. So, anyways,
You're
I'm
like
back.
a recruiter.
What's that?
So, like in recruitment?
Yeah.
Or-
So I don't do the recruitment, but I work with a team of like recruiters. I work with the hospitals, clinics. So we've been working with different ones in California and Washington where we place the doctors. They're seeing patients that have COVID-19. They're front lines kind of people, but we do everything on a temporary basis. But yeah, anyways, not to bore everyone with, day job stuff. But it is cool. It's nice. It's nice to see that people are, like, how many people jumped at the opportunity to go to these assignments that, it's unknown. We don't know what's going to happen if they go there. So, it's, I don't have that kind of skill set, but having someone who does and we're sending them there, it's appreciative whenever you are talking to these people and realize what they're willing to do and what other people can't do, like myself. It's the same situation that 3D printing, right? I don't do it, so.
Well, but basically you can't compare yourself with much of the other tasks, correct?
What's
Like,
that?
Any other job, correct? Like,
right? No, of course. Yeah. I mean, it
Well,
was
like
more of a joke, but
I know. I was just taking the piss. My wife's sister, she's a doctor, and her husband is also a doctor. So basically, they're both in the front line, and their 3-year-old son is staying with his grandparents for the last 2 months because they just can't be close to him.
Right.
And I just think that's just crazy. But they're willing to do the sacrifice, and I think that's awesome on them. But it's just, I can imagine the kid in 3 months going back home and like they can't cope with it because he's just doing
It was
all
so
the kind of
quiet for 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you were talking about homeschooling. Like, I was quite impressive because before the schools closed here in the UK, I got a couple of emails saying they were setting up Google Classrooms and everything. And my youngest daughter, she has homework and assignments every single day. Yesterday, she was working until 11 p.m. doing homework. And it's just gone like, whoa, what the hell? Because she has actually more work when she did than when she was in school. I go like, God, that's just impressive.
That seems extreme. My kids tend to do a little less, but then I'm not 100% on top of them to make sure they're doing it all.
Well, she sits next to me, so basically.
What you should do is teach them how to 3D print so you don't have to do it.
I've taught her how to take prints out of the print bed. But basically, because the Prusa has really strong magnets, I'm always scared that she goes and gets her fingers under the bed because it's really strong.
Pinch your finger, yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think I've done that once.
You have small fingers?
No, I have fat fingers, but
get in the way.
No, I've definitely pinched I mean, like when I've put it down and I've held my finger too close, man.
Yeah.
I've pinched the corner of her finger before.
But like she's tiny, so I just go like, okay, supervised only, otherwise. But she's quite handy when I'm away from home and the printer is running and she takes pictures or goes on to Octoprint and it just sends me the pictures so I can check if the printers are working. So that's positive. But I can't convince them to do any 3D printing at all.
You need to use Google Remote Desktop. That's what I use. Just remote into my computer, look at all my Octoprint setups, and good to go.
It's not child labor if they're related.
Yeah.
I saw Joel had his son doing laser cutting for the face shields on his video.
Yeah.
And it was really cute watching him teach him how to do it because it like reminded me of how my parents used to do it. They would like ask me questions to get me thinking about how I should be doing something, which was like, oh, it was just so cute and wholesome to watch. I don't know. I love watching people with kids. It's really lovely. Yeah.
You wouldn't want to watch the family show over here. It's not. It's a little bit insane, honestly. I was actually asking my oldest one, look, you're all over social networks. Can't you just help me a little bit, like do some stuff on social? And she goes like, you kidding me? I have way better stuff to do. And she just spends her days in the couch or in the bedroom. And you're like, thank you.
Well, she gave you a good advice last time. What you need to promote your stuff.
Oh God, no! Let's not have that conversation here.
Okay, I'm not gonna say that you need boobs.
Yes.
Sorry, what?
Oh, don't do that. I hate that. There's so
No, but
many
that
people
was
who are
my
like,
no. That was my oldest daughter that said that to me.
Yeah, she said that.
Yes, she said that.
stamp that out. I hate that.
Edit
So many
that out.
people are like, I only get views because I'm a girl, and I'm like, that's fucking shit. Oh
No,
wait,
I agree with you.
I'm
It's
sorry.
shit.
Sorry.
That's
But it
fine.
is.
No.
Language
But it
aside,
Like,
but
It
it is
is.
effective.
so wrong.
Well, So that's what I was telling Spencer. I was telling her that she should start streaming video games. She doesn't play video games, but I was like, we could be making money if you stream video games.
There was that one girl.
I'm not
video
saying
game
do anything
streamer.
like wrong. I'm just saying that if I try to stream video games right now, I would not make any money whatsoever. But there's a difference between like me and her. She's attractive. I'm not. So that helps.
Have we been too mean to you? Now you're being
Well,
mean. That's no good. Don't
when-
be mean
when
to
you
So
you.
both
I'm always self-deprecating, so it really doesn't matter.
Yourself. Treat
Look,
yourself.
when you both were on the screen, I wanted to suggest that you should open YouTube channel as a couple because that would be probably good thing. You guys look cute together, so
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
super cute.
mostly because of her, not you.
Now,
So.
now you guys are just trying to be nice to me. What's that?
Nothing.
You're just trying to get her back on here. Hey,
She's
you
the
want- you
cute.
want your-
You're the together.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
No, but like again, I've just refused to follow the advice of my daughter. But I know.
Well, I'm
Like,
glad you decided not to get boobs. I mean, that is
Yeah.
probably
Might
a
have
good
been a
thing.
little awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
but the views. I mean,
I'll rather-
I would have you in every stream. Hi, friend.
No, well,
Hi.
no. I'd rather pay Instagram for ads than actually having my daughter.
Or a farting
on.
cat.
Yeah.
A farting cat seems to do just as well as boobs.
Well,
so
I have a couple of pictures of my dog with makeup, or yesterday with
perfect.
Mickey Mouse ears, stuff like that. I just don't think I can put a diorama next to my dog and it will survive more than 2 seconds because it will just completely destroy it.
Maybe it can be a game like your dog falls asleep and you have to like place dioramas around the dog and see how many you can put down before the dog wakes up and destroys them. I would like that.
So
Yeah,
the other day,
this is a solid idea.
he was lying on the floor and I put a book under his paws and I took a picture. Someone in my office actually zoomed the picture and read the sentence that he was his nails were on, and it said, "You have to pay attention to the things you're reading." That was what I was.
Are you telling me enhanced works?
Yeah.
Mikester, I think you guys have explained it.
Enhance.
But on Patreon Discord, there's actually a pets channel where people just post pictures of their pets, and it's I think it has one of the biggest. What?
Yeah.
What was that?
What?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
What
he's
is
talking
it?
about the
Do you watch Doctor Who?
Dalek bumps.
No, just not a big fan of Doctor Who.
Oh wow, that was a really loud audible gasp.
Okay, people say hello. Say goodbye to Fred.
I don't like Star Wars, and sometimes I get that reaction from people with Star Wars because I really like just don't care for it at all. But Doctor Who though.
You know, it's funny. I love Star Wars, but you look at the movies, and man, a lot of them are shit.
I just never got into it. I'm like,
I say that I
It's
love
all
the
the fanfic.
concept. I love the concept of
Dislike this
Star Wars,
video.
but huh?
People will dislike this video. What are you doing?
quiet.
But Clone Wars is
Everyone
amazing.
perfectly allowed to
Webster
like
said he
Star
hates Star Wars, so
I just don't.
no, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
I think there's a no. My internet.
I can have some fun with Star Wars.
Alex just froze.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
internet went out, but I have like really bad like internet here. I need to get a new router. It's 3 years old.
I don't know. I just have this thing with the British TV series. and Doctor Who is just something that never, yeah, I never really enjoyed. I like Blackadder.
I agree with Fotis.
Blackadder's great.
I think Red Dwarf is probably my favorite.
Oh, I love Red
Oh,
Dwarf.
yeah.
I
Whatever.
love watching that.
Like Cat is my. Oh my god.
So good.
My shadow's looking nice. I'm looking nice. I love it.
Love it. And the young ones, like an older one, but the young
Oh,
ones.
that's a really good
the young
one.
ones. Oh,
Yeah.
I like the In-Betweeners. In-Betweeners, that was my favorite British
that's
TV show.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, like Mr. Bean. Yeah, okay, but nothing compares to Blackadder, and I just again.
Blackadder's brilliant.
I was actually thinking about a very old movie called Kids. Not sure if you
Yeah.
that's or Train Spotting, correct?
Train Spotting is amazing.
Yeah. Anything after that, it's just like, yeah. No.
Kids was like,
I was traumatized after watching Kids, and actually even more traumatized. I remember going to the movies to watch this film, and I
was
remember
recording
when
kids, everything was fine for me.
a film called Crash.
Yeah.
God, I remember when the film ended, and the lights in the cinema were just turned on. There was no one speaking. People just left the cinema without saying a single word. That's how shocking the movie was.
He was all
Crash.
wide-eyed and
Damn.
sullen, walking out.
It was just shocking.
I think
Kids
the
was
first movie
different.
that scared me as a kid was actually Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And there's that one scene. I don't know. I feel like this is an old enough movie that I can describe the scene. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're safe. The one scene where the priest guy like reaches into his chest and like pulls out his heart, and it's still beating.
Taliban.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, my parents were like anti-violence. They were like, there can be an adult scene, but not a violent scene in any film you watch. Like that
My
was
dad was
their
like, "Here, watch Total Recall." I was like, "Okay."
oh, dang. But yeah, like so I like snuck in and like was peeping my head into the living room to like watch this movie I wasn't supposed to be watching, and that was the bit I saw, and I was like, oh my god, I'm never watching something they tell me not to watch again. So I was just terrified. I had nightmares. I still remember it, and I watched it recently, like a few years ago, and I was like, how did I even get scared by this? It was so ridiculous. Like it's just so silly. Yeah.
Wasn't that one where they were having the monkey brains?
Yeah, I
and
think so.
the table?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Listen, no one of you guys haven't lived in Yugoslavia. You haven't been exposed to actual scary shit. There was a vampire movie that scared the shit out of me. I was never that afraid. Like that was the scariest thing. It's like in an old mill, there's a vampire attacking people, and it's black and white, and it's so weird. And they play that after the cartoon at 7.
And
And
nightmares.
I was in the room, and I was watching that. I remember entire like night I was covered with blanket. I was holding like that, and I remember I was just waiting for the sun to hit everything so I can like be free.
Oh, you poor thing.
It was terrible.
He's still traumatized.
It sounds like it.
I am.
I don't know, but I remember being younger, and the back at that time the TVs, they wouldn't care about the ratings on the TV series or movies. I remember at one point there was a porn movie at 9 p.m. on national TV. And I was like, okay, this is
Go on.
weird.
And then,
Weird. And I was what, 12,
What was
13
what was the
years
name
age.
of it?
It was a
Yeah,
Chinese
where can we
movie.
find it? So we know to stick there.
Lord of the G-string.
No, I don't remember. I need to think about the translation of the movie, and it was a Chinese movie. It was really weird. Really
Look,
weird.
I was really, really angry at my parents because my mom was watching some movie, Miami Spice, and I was trying to figure out why I cannot watch it. Later, it hit me. Much later. And then I looked at my mom and like,
God.
Still doesn't know what I meant with that.
I think some of these national TVs, like I guess Yugoslavia and Portugal and others, were really kind of not thinking about what they were putting out on the air. It just anything goes. And I remember watching Indiana Jones and other scarier movies, like Nightmare on Elm Street. God, that scared the crap out of me when I was
Terrifying.
younger. Something's
What was
beeping.
that?
Was it a dog beeping?
We have the fire alarm next to all of the printers. Just, safety first, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it started going off from something else.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Go put that in another room for now.
Just a different fire. Don't worry about
Just
it.
a different fire. It's no big. We got it. It's under control.
Speaking of Nightmare on Elm Street, the one thing that actually traumatized me as a child was the trailer to Leprechaun that I watched because
It
was
looks
kind of-
terrifying.
yeah, when he stuck out that tongue, oh my god! Still remember that scene.
I remember my grandmother taking us to the cinema to watch Ghostbusters, and I was probably, I don't know, 8, 9, and I
What
was
is smoke?
scared. I was scared because that was like, I remember it was way above my age, and they had to ask permission from my grandmother, and I think I've never slept properly after that movie.
What was that smoke?
Yeah, what was the smoke?
The smoke alarm's going off, man. We're dealing with it. We got it. It's fine. It's fine.
the other night, Mathilde said, "Good night, I'm going to bed," and after a while, the smoke alarm goes beep beep beep, and I go like, "What the hell?" She was doing toast and forgot it, and basically the kitchen was just, you couldn't
Dark
see
toast.
anything.
I do that kind of thing all the time. I once made a croissant in the oven. I was like heating it up in the oven, and I forgot about it. And when I opened the oven, it was on fire. Like it was like a croissant with just fire coming on top. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I got a wet tea towel and put it out. But yeah, I forget things regularly. My poor partner.
Oh no, we're always very scared of anything, fires and stuff. Mostly our previous houses were all timber framed.
Ooh.
The previous one had a straw roof on it, so like anything that can catch a fire is always a massive problem for us. But luckily, this one is a little bit more modern. Nightmare on Elm Street was one of the scariest. Yeah, it was always very scary. I actually have not done a Elm Street diorama because I'm still scared of it. Just
I remember it was kind of scary, but I kind of like the guy. He has
Robert England.
stuff. Yeah. He like I could have always seen through his mask, and I knew how he looks, so he was always like reminding me of one of my neighbors. So
My high school economics teacher looked like Robert England. So it's great falling asleep in his class.
I loved the Death of Freddy. It was the first 3D movie I've seen. It's so great to see that stuff.
The first 3D movie I remember was, I think, the something Lagoon, the Dark Lagoon or the Blue Lagoon, was a black and white 3D movie. Do you guys remember that? Oh god.
No, we are younger here.
You talking about? Is that 4?
Black and white.
Wait, let me see. It's a really old movie.
I remember the first time my sister saw a 3D movie, and she came out of the cinema. I can't remember what it was, but I remember her coming out of the cinema and being like, "Wow, I wish the world was in 3D." And we were like, "Ah."
It's like the high definition sunglasses.
So funny.
What do you think about 3D technology? Like in movies, is that gonna be like?
I think Avatar was the first really good one, because you just had everything kind of floating around you. You were trying to duck under branches while you're walking through the woods. That was like
Yeah,
the
because
first one that didn't look like they just slapped it on top.
I don't know. I got a
they
TV,
use
3D,
I thought
3D.
they use
I never
proper
liked it.
cameras for that. It was specially made cameras, and everything was calculated much better, because before that cameras were way too far because of the size of each camera. I think actually technology that they use on Avatar, they used properly for Resident Evil movies for the first time,
I could see
because
that.
the way how those cameras worked, they were adjusting, because our eyes, if you look at a point that is further, your eyes are looking like this, but when the point goes closer, your eyes are going like in cross, and the camera is also doing that, so they were actually doing proper field of view, so
Okay.
you immediately got better. But I don't know, like at the beginning it was kind of interesting to see the technology, but now I rather go to see 2D movie because it's less distracting. I don't have to wear glasses, and 3D
I get a
doesn't
headache.
that much stuff. The best thing I've seen in 3D was trailer for Smurfs. I was sitting in cinema. It was one of the best naps I had. Um, Seriously, my wife and I, we went to cinema, and cinema just opened, but there were a lot of people watching other stuff. So we decided to go and watch the documentary about some turtle. And before that, I was already like settling in the seats. So other seats are kind of blocking the part of the end of the screen. And all of a sudden, Smurf goes in front. And it was so well adjusted at that point that this was like the best thing. Then the documentary started, and then you have like a bunch of algae and all of that, like floating. And then I just took a nap. Half an hour. I don't remember the documentary. I looked at my wife, and I woke up. She was still drooling. So it was like best rest we had.
God. I was actually searching the creature. It's called The Creature from the Black Lagoon. And the actual movie is from 1954. And I remember in 1980s, in the 80s, they've done a 3D version of it. Black and white 3D version of it. It's pretty old. Oh, God. That was a cool movie.
So what's next? I mean, we have all of this technology now. What do you guys expect to be a new thing? Either something with 3D
bigger bruises.
Reality gets better. I really love virtual reality. And I'd love to be able to sculpt really easily in VR and like do all my work in VR and just have like the whole world is a monitor. But I think more like mixed reality, so you can
augmented.
See yeah,
I think augmented is going to be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Virtual reality is great, and I think it's going to have its place. But I think augmented reality is going to be where the push is going to be.
Like the ability to like watch a tutorial while you're actually doing something, with like if you're learning to sew, say you could have a video showing you what you need to do as you're at the sewing machine or whatever. I just think that would be really cool.
Have you guys not seen the
almost like a layover?
Yeah,
the
like
lemmings,
but like better.
It's going to be like HoloLens. I mean, have you seen the HoloLens? But it's going to be where it's not. You don't have to wear a big block on your head.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like Google. I mean, we'll look back in a couple years and be like, wow, I can't believe you had to wear Google Glass. And in order to turn the page on a book, you had to do this to turn the page.
Yeah.
Be all Minority Report pulling stuff.
That's what's going to, that's the problem. That's what's going to happen.
I have too many tabs open.
Minority Report.
One thing that I still don't think it fits, and I don't think it's ever gonna work well, is hands-free things. When you see people just walking and talking, at least in my country, you still think that person is a weirdo, or it's actually
they're crazy talking to themselves.
But I remember
what is so important that you have to be like, yeah, come on. Just hold your phone for a few seconds.
I mean, I use my Bluetooth. I have Bluetooth headphones that I'll use when I'm talking on
I
the
knew
phone.
you were gonna be the one. I knew it.
God damn it.
Well,
Damn.
to me
Well,
also, but it's
so
so
this is
crazy
my
to have
last stream.
headphones on.
What's
Yeah,
that?
but
Like that will happen to me too. I'll be walking the street. I already have the headphones on. They can take the call. I'm not gonna take them off to put a headset.
Yeah,
To the,
why would I want to do this? Who does this?
no,
I
but
appreciate the one that comes around more than the one that just plugs in your ear,
Right.
because then
have
I
the one-
really think you're crazy until you turn and I see it flashing, and then I'm like, oh, okay, you're not talking to me. Cool. Okay.
But in 1998, I remember trying for the first time call with a headset, not with my phone on my ear. And I remember clearly I was in the train station and people just thought I was mental talking to myself. And this was, 30 years ago. And, nowadays it's normal. Everyone does it. So I think in 20, 30 years, if you're just going like this in the middle of the year, because you're doing some AR or whatever, nobody's going to think it's weird. Probably.
Look, I live close to swamp, so we have a lot of mosquitoes during summer. So this kind of stuff is completely normal here.
Same. Yeah, subtropics here.
God. So have we got the minis working or not? After
I
3
saw-
hours,
had the extruder moving, or not the extruder, the hot end.
I've not seen them move or print anything yet.
Not
He's
this
been
one.
working
He
on it
was
for a week.
fixing this one, but
God.
this other
Thank-
one is doing something weird. I don't know. I don't think that's how that's supposed to look.
I might
That's
have
what,
to say
that's what she
goodbye.
said.
Hey.
Huh? Sorry?
I might have to say goodbye, but it's been so
You might have to say goodbye. Well, if you don't want to say goodbye, don't say goodbye. Just stay.
That's the thing to do, and I really want to eat before that happens, because otherwise I won't do it. And I literally rolled out of bed and got onto this call, so I probably should go be a human for a little bit and get some food. It's been so wonderful to hang out with you all. Thank you so much for the invite.
I'm really glad that you came here, and if you wanna remind people again for the tomorrow, now it's your time.
Cool, thank you. Yes, we are doing a virtual Rep Rap Festival, but it's really just like a replacement for the after party of MRF, because obviously MRRF, Midwest Rep Rap Festival, hasn't gone ahead this year. So yeah, some of the guys from Makers on Tap podcast have put together just like a really chill, fun call, which is going to be streamed tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time. And if you would like to join in and be on the call, we would love to see you there. We've got lots of people like Devin from Make Anything and Angus from Mankus Muse and just so many awesome people. So there's a sign up sheet on the Discord. And yeah, we'd love to see you there. It would be really great. I'm going to help moderate the call. So I'll be on most of the time. But it's just going to be drinks and hangouts and stuff, like real chill. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Brad.
Thank you for being here. It was
Thank you
awesome.
so much
Yeah,
for having
nice
me.
meeting you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lovely to meet you all. This was really
I'm glad
great.
I found out who made that infographic, because that was awesome. By the
Oh,
way.
the leveling poster? Yeah. I'm really glad it helped you. It seems to help a few people, so I'm really glad.
Yeah,
Oh, you're showing
that was
it. Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen some others that you've done, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've done it.
style.
Yeah. I think they're really, really good.
Total, or have you made more?
Yes. Keep
Okay.
making more.
I'm gonna
I've only
post
made-
one more time in comments.
So there's the leveling one. There's like what 3D modeling program to use depending on what you're trying to do, and then there's another one on like CAD design tips, which are just
Mhm.
like all those little things that just make something a bit easier to 3D print. I'd never found a resource that had like a nice cohesive list of them all, so I put them together from my brain basically.
Super rad.
Yeah. And I've got one in the works for how to flash Marlin and how to set up Octopi. So
Nice.
that'll happen. And a resin one. I want to do like a resin basics kind of deal. Yeah, but I'm just a bit disorganized because ADHD, but I'll get there.
Are you kidding me? You have a Kanban board or a board.
You're quite
Most of these guys don't have anything, so you're way more organized, so don't
When I
worry
don't
about it.
do the thing, I just like mentally do it because it's on the board, and then turning it into real life is like another story entirely.
I have
But
a whole
anyway.
craft room that agrees with you.
Oh, you're in one of my 3 craft rooms, which I freak out. It's insane. Anyway, but yeah, it's so lovely to meet you all and hang out. Thank you so much. It's been so nice to put like faces to Twitters and stuff. This is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye. Where's Fotis? Is he gone?
I think he's
So,
still
right.
in the chat.
That was the first level.
What is
We have
that?
like
This was the little test print we were trying to do to see if he fixed it right. So that's, the first level's not too bad, pretty smooth. But then this is when I was like, I don't think that's
No, that's not
not
good.
how
Yeah.
that's supposed to look.
Under
Doesn't work.
shooting.
So
Well, it depends
something
on the
is-
model.
fair enough. I saw someone do some fake grass. It looked like a Easter basket grass. That was really cool. Pretty.
Mm. I usually use static grass when I'm not model it. But, you
I
could
got
always.
these really cool ones for photos. But I think his thing was printing a whole Easter basket, like all in one. It was interesting.
I need to start doing some textures on my models. Most of the times I just look at them and just like.
Oh,
plain
Philip
faces.
Lindsay has a tip for the mini.
Oh?
He says that
Wait.
it might be the issue with the PTFE.
Ah. Yeah.
yeah, I've seen that problem a few times. Like people were posting about that. It's but they need to use longer PTF, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
He's trying to fix it, but maybe not all the way.
The only issue I've had with it is the Minda with these zip tie was too tight. They had to send me a new one.
Because you're strong.
Just hulking out zip tie.
I wish it was me. Again, it was somebody else who did something. I
Oh,
you know.
I knew it.
Yeah, the only issue I have with the mini is that I don't have one.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I-
for this is here.
Hey!
Hi.
We're going
Kind of
out.
like.
Oh,
Oh.
hi.
I don't think they see you.
I know, but if you're objective,
Baby, you wanna come in?
we're going out.
Oh, really?
Yes. We're not gonna sit here tonight.
Say hi.
Hey,
Hey.
So there's my middle son, my wife behind them. They're gonna virtually celebrate a birthday.
Oh my
They're
god.
trying to take you under the bed, so they go there.
yeah,
Party. Well, I don't hear nothing.
grab him by the legs.
Going under the bed, yeah.
This one.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Say hi to
For
Paloma.
music. No.
Okay.
So does that LED strip change colors, Fernando?
Yes, it does.
So why are we watching the white one? Do it red, please.
Yeah, disco night under the bed. Come on, that was always the plan.
And before it looks rather ominous.
I like the fact. Sorry, we're all talking about the lights,
Seems so much
but
warmer.
Alex is working hard, and he just filled up his glass. You can see the sweat coming out. Have you noticed that? I need to get an LED.
We're actually watching this.
Sorry, Alex.
I want to
Oh, sorry. She asked me how many people were watching us, and I was like, I can't. I don't see a number, so I wasn't able to tell.
22 right now.
22. Are you watching on YouTube as well? You have it upload up on the side.
A separate tab open.
Dedicated. There's 22 people who think we're fun. Well, think they're fun, and just like, who's this guy?
I think the tabs open. They forgot they were watching.
I'm not even. I'm curious to see the comments on YouTube. Who's that guy under the bed? Who's that guy with no hair?
You're not seeing the comments on the side?
Oh God, this is.
Bro, what is?
What?
How are you, dude?
Thank you, Frenzy. I will do those things.
I'm fine.
Yes.
God.
Again, you're not gonna go to bed in a normal
I
time.
will. I will. Yeah, 2 days ago I slept at 7:30.
Yeah, and I'm like a mom telling him what to do. So
The I don't listen
And,
anyway.
and
So
he's like annoying
why
little
you
Brett,
do
not listening to me.
Oh, not Owen.
Who is Fotis and what makes him minty? Nothing. Trust me. Trust me.
Personality.
Absolutely nothing.
No, come on, that's not true. You're mint by nature, by name, correct?
Yeah, translated.
Yeah, but we're not gonna tell his last name because
No,
he's gonna
No.
disappear. Like
Fotis mint.
names
So
and everything.
if I say my last name, then I will have to kill you.
Yes.
Well, don't say it.
No, I have a license to kill.
Well, thank God we have 3 months of quarantine, so at least I'll live a couple more weeks. I like the fact that last week they were saying it was going to snow in the UK, and this week they said there was going to be 22 degrees in the UK, and it's bloody foggy and almost raining. So I love the weather forecast.
I like
And if
how we hear just his voice, but he's not there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. Is Fred there, or am I too
I
sleepy?
am.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's
He's getting more
invisible man.
gin.
Yeah, I'm just watching it. Yeah.
Just pops up from under the desk.
Hey, you can't have the rights to under the bed, correct? I'm just under the bed. I actually need to get more tonic.
Again.
Is it the angle or is that just a big ass glass?
It's a proper gin glass.
Yeah,
It just seemed
This is
large.
something. Man, this is something
that
people
would
use
be
to
like
get
something that we
baptized.
from Dallas. to
That's where I baptized Mathilde. Yeah. With gin. Why do you think she's like that?
May the power of Christ compel you.
Yeah.
Oh, now I mean bad breath. Nice.
What?
Yeah.
For this.
Well, 40s. I don't know what this means, but
40s means strong.
Well,
that's
not
not
you.
my name.
So Easter is coming, and it looks like it's gonna be a sad one. Probably the first Easter where we're gonna be separated with our families. How do you think, guys, that's gonna go?
I have 4 days at home, bank holiday. What am I going to do for 4 days stuck at home on Easter?
I don't know. I'm gonna eat more.
God, I'm going to drink until I just falling down.
Fred, you're gonna need a bigger glass.
I have a couple more. Worst case scenario, just get a bucket.
How am I not
Big-
surprised?
Bigger.
Fred's gonna have a
Bigger than
problem
that.
because you can't go to AA classes because of the pandemic now. So you
Excuse
just
me,
keep drinking.
Alex. I got a Zoom meeting. AA Zoom.
Hi, my name's Fred.
Now I run the meetings. No, God, we're all going crazy. Like, don't know what else the kids can do at home. And now it's school holidays this week.
Just make up games. Print up a game. You said your printers weren't running,
there's
right?
so much stuff that you can do every single day. I don't know. I'm missing hours per day still because there's so much stuff I want to do per day, and I love this staying at home. It saves the time that I was spending. You know, I have more time because I'm not traveling anywhere. I don't have to go anywhere. I
Yep.
started ordering everything, so it's like I have so much time. Sometimes
I'm busier
still
now
not enough.
in quarantine than I was before.
I feel the same way.
I just like it at the grocery store because everybody kind of stays away from you. Nobody's really trying to talk to you. Nobody's like standing right behind you in the line. Just
No,
it's
they
really
run
nice.
away from you.
People try to
Well, yeah,
talk to you
me
at the
in
grocery store on a
particular.
normal basis,
Yeah, people
Yeah,
always just stand
and,
really close. I don't know.
and they
I
want
don't
to
know
like,
why they
"Hey,
want to
what,
talk to me. I
what,
always
kind
try to have
what
this
kind of
like
mushrooms
bitch
are you
face
getting?"
on, but it doesn't work.
yeah, and if you see a lot of people around, you just pretend to cough. Everybody will disappear.
Just get like real snivelly, start touching my face a lot.
Yeah.
Say
Those,
something in Cantonese. It's awesome.
someone here in the UK
Pretty mouth.
decided it was funny to sneeze in the vegetable area.
Oh no.
Oh,
But
my
it
goodness.
costs the supermarket thousands and thousands of pounds to just clear the whole section.
Yeah, because you can't just clean it off. Nobody's
No.
gonna be okay with it.
Feel like-
It's-
Just come on, honestly.
Well,
that's-
there was a basketball player, like it was back in early February before it really hit off here. Yeah, he was going around and he was just touching all the microphones, making a big joke. Next day, all of them tested positive for coronavirus.
He was the first. He was the first positive coronavirus patient in the NBA. Jesus Christ.
It was-
yeah. Woo.
My wife was feeling sick yesterday, and she said, "I'm going to die, and I'm feeling really bad. Oh my god!" I said, "Like, just go to bed and sleep it off." And she's better now. But now anything is, oh my god, I'm sick. I have COVID-19. I
I don't know, like it freaks me out sometimes. Like my wife goes into the store. I'm too lazy, and she's not afraid of anything. So
Oh, no one's gonna give him.
I mean, she tolerates me for like 10 years now, so she really is not afraid of anything. But every time my wife comes home with a bunch of bags, I'm not freaking out because she bought a bunch of stuff. I'm actually happy because like food, but then it's like germs. Like, should I touch this? Should I open this bag? Maybe I should clean it somehow. Like
Should I
I
take
start
out
saying-
everything outside and
Yeah.
then bring them into the house?
Those,
That's, yeah, that's what I
Today
do.
she bought me microscope. I mean, she bought it for my kid, but it was for me actually. So I started watching everything, like skin, cats, hair, and like
did you put your cat under the
water-
microscope?
water, coffee. I'm gonna do blood. No, I'm afraid to do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm
Is it
looking
that
at my
same
kid and
microscope
she's
kit
like,
that came
no.
with like plankton and shit? You put a couple of slides. You know what I'm talking about? You like
Mhm.
fold it open.
Oh no, God!
What are you saying, Tom? Tom wipes outside. Okay.
Oh God, yeah.
With what,
Uh,
Tom?
His deliveries, but I thought to forget to say deliveries.
There was an Amazon guy that came to deliver something, and he rang the bell. And when I got to the door, he was in a van with a mask and gloves, and he was pointing like this. So he just threw the package into the floor, got into the van, and just left.
Ooh, we ordered food today, and my wife said like you can leave it in front of the door, so there's no contact because we paid through internet and all of that. And wife tells me because she's also working and she was on the phone and she said me tells me when you hear the ring, just go downstairs and pick it up. And I go downstairs immediately when it rang, and I open the door, and guy freaks out because he didn't expect that I'm gonna be that close. I open the door and he's like, like leaving everything. Like you said to leave it in front of the door. Yeah, I'm hungry. Dude. Just kidding.
It's just insane, honestly. I don't know. I was on the supermarket last week, and someone just jumped like if I was sick and my limbs were falling or something, and I was like, "What?"
Like you're a leper. You got
Yes,
lesions
exactly.
everywhere.
I don't know.
Microscope.
That's
Did you find the corona?
Well, that's your
that-
cat.
no. That's actually feather, like some orange feather. I don't know, from cat's toy. And this other thing is just water. It looks pretty cool.
I think your water is probably not good enough to drink.
Probably. Dude,
How long did it take to line up your
Your,
camera?
your experience in microscopes, Fred, is breathtaking.
Thank you. Breathtaking.
it took me a while to like align it properly, but that's why I took like 20 pictures and at the end said first try.
There's actually a microscope kit that's USB, so you can actually connect it to the computer and then have a software to take the pictures and watch the through the PC instead of being through the microscope.
Yeah, I know.
It was on eBay. It wasn't too expensive. It was actually quite cool. Did you see, guys? Have you guys seen that telescope that's 3D printed?
No.
No, I
No.
haven't.
It's I think they were on Kickstarter, and it's a massive telescope, and it's 3D printable telescope. Of course, you have to order some lens and some stuff, but it's like really cool project. I'll try and figure it. I have the Twitter account, and I'll share it with you guys. But it looked really cool, and they were showing pictures of kind of the moon, and the details on that was just insane.
Can you sell it?
Oh no, I don't think you can sell it, Alex.
I'll print it then.
No, not interested. Gonna get another tonic water. Be right back.
What the fuck?
Dude, drink like
What is he doing, man?
Let me can I ask you guys a question, like as designers, right?
No.
Because I am incompetent when it comes to Fusion 360 and stuff.
What you got?
So I work with pottery and clay. So I can sculpt things like, actually with my hands. Now, earlier we were talking about the advancement of technology and stuff like that. So VR is starting to, recognize people's hands as opposed to the controllers, right?
Yeah.
The technology's starting to kind of get there. From your perspective, because you're so used to using like your drawing pad or like the mouse, your hotkeys, how would that translate for you as a designer, like sculpting, if you actually got just start using your hands? Because for me, that would open up all the possibilities, because if I can get a lump of clay and just sculpt it in a virtual program, and then that renders the 3D, printable version, like...
As soon as you
I
said
don't think
play,
that's
I just thought about ZBrush. You don't
Yeah, I
need
was about to say
VR.
that. I don't know. I think maybe you should be using ZBrush or Blender instead of Fusion if you're more sculpting handy.
Yeah, but the interesting part of the question is exactly that, because what she asked, we use these kind of things, and
Yeah.
in VR you can do it with actual hands, so you can form with your hands, and you're basically changing the tool. So it would be just like you playing with clay in real life, except you're not gonna be able to feel it, but it's like completely different thing. I think a lot of people would have problems because they're not just used to use hands to sculpt stuff.
Yeah, if you give me a piece of clay right now, I can't make anything.
I can make
So-
a pancake.
Yeah, except pancakes. But yeah, I don't think I will go to VR anytime soon.
But have you tried ZBrush?
No, I haven't really tried that many. Anything that I've been making is all very basic. I tried to do a Meeseeks, and that proved fairly difficult because I just didn't understand really how to look at it when it has like the curvature versus like an actual angled break and stuff like that. It was hard for me to digitize what I'm used to feeling with my finger.
Yeah, okay.
As far as like edges and stuff like that. And I tried changing the mesh or whatever to try to see more of like the ridges and angles, and then that just kind of just looked like a flustercluck.
I tried to sculpt a few things in VR, and it's immediately completely different feeling, because your perspective when you look at the model in 3D space is completely different. It feels natural, but it's not precise. I cannot explain. I mean, maybe it's still the limitation of the software, but what I can do right now in ZBrush, I tried a few days ago. I tried first time VR in I think 2 years ago, and then with all this knowledge, I tried to apply it in VR, and I failed completely.
I think Tom just said what your problem is, that you need a Michael Jackson glove like you use Wexer.
I took it off.
Yeah, but you probably don't use it when you're in VR, so that's why it doesn't work, correct?
But it's still it's still very blunt. It doesn't have all the features that you will need to make similar things. So yeah,
Be really
it's still
concise and more
Oh
detailed.
yes, ZBrush you can do incredible details. I don't think I can do that with VR so far because I think the software are too limited for that. You can't go that high detail with that.
Look, there are always people who are doing impressive stuff with software that no one else is doing. Like you can see people doing crazy stuff in Microsoft Paint. Like
well, yeah, I don't
and
disagree with that.
I've seen
I'm just speaking about myself.
I've seen in Masterpiece VR in what it's called Codon, Tilt Brush. I've tried all of them, I think, and every software has something that feels great, but you cannot jump between them all the time. Some are great for non-organic stuff. You can like grab with two handles. You can actually start doing like shapes and make a vase. Actually, you just form outline and it revolves and you have a basic shape. So, but it's not like actually doing it with the clay. I think these new controllers, when actually are AR thing that we talked about, could be the thing here that will still be in real space. You will still have that kind of different feeling. I know everything feels different for me in VR. The way how I move, because you still have like a weight on your head, and I don't know, for me it still reminds me all the time that I'm somewhere else, and I don't know. The other thing is that you just cannot be that long inside the VR. Usually people stay maybe half an hour inside, some go longer, but it's just not meant still for that kind of stuff, because the resolution is still not there. So your eyes are constantly seeing pixels and trying to adjust, and you can get sick.
Yeah, I mean, if you work that many hours in VR that we work right now,
yeah,
come on, it's a deception. You can't do that.
Yeah,
I mean, I had some crazy experiences in VR. I mentioned that in one of the streams. I almost fell down over the counter that wasn't there, and
the Star Wars one. I looked in the spaceship and I didn't realize that wasn't actually.
I had a problem. The first terrible experience was that I've experienced that pilot disease when I was in simulation in space, and it started rotating me, and I wanted to crouch because I was really sick at one point, and I didn't know if the crouch is up, down, left, and right. It was first time that I was so disoriented, and like I couldn't just think of the logical thing that I could have moved the helmet and I would be normal.
I'm like stuck here. Yeah.
Yeah, like my wife came into the room and I was on the floor.
The brain loses it.
Yeah, I never experienced.
I think for me,
something
VR,
like that.
to do anything in VR, I would need a ruler and be able to sketch stuff in Fusion. So,
well, I think now you can even do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to Photo's point, Greg. You can't spend 5 hours in VR, like 5 or more. Correct? Like
you spend 20 hours a day, Fred. So
look,
well, today I was from 8 in the morning.
Technology is changing. You're getting more and more resolution. I'm looking at stuff like movies. For example, in 90s, you could have seen one movie, maybe 1.5, and you will get sick because you were watching VHS. It was small resolution. picture was vibrating and all of that. Then DVD came, bigger resolution. You could have seen 2 or 3 movies, without getting tired. Then Blu-ray came, and you could spend hours and hours watching shows, movies, uh, like extended versions of Lord of the Rings without any kind of problems, because the quality of the image also helps when you don't need to push your eyes that far when you're seeing nice and clear images. VR, it's still not there yet. It can give you some experience, like going underwater and seeing stuff, or stuff that we never did before, and it's painting in space. That was like when I tried the Google tilt brush, when I actually moved the line and it was passing, and I started moving hands underneath it. Like before that, I only drew stuff on flat surfaces. Just your mind, when it starts thinking it in 3D space like that, and when you can like move around, it's completely different thing. I can't wait for that technology to go further. It's gonna be great, but
I think it's going to take some time. Even
yeah,
VR itself, this is, I think, the first iteration that I've seen of VR, and every single iteration has always been a lot of promises and not a lot of things really happening. I feel like we're still going to wait one more iteration before we get something proper out of it.
this will be scary.
Well, Kit made a thing. It made me think about the Red Dwarf better than life. I don't want to be Dwayne Dibley. Like, that sounds horrible. I don't want to be Dwayne Dibley.
Well, when this thing gets into small glasses, wireless, and haptic, that would make sense. Right
Is
now,
that
you're
where you
like,
think it's going? I think it's going holodeck,
Holodeck.
yeah, maybe, but
because that would be a real
right,
augmented reality.
right now you
Yeah.
have a huge thing on your head, and nothing feels normal. It's heavy. It's not like veteran said. It's not there. I'm not a fan of it. I think
Yeah,
AR has more potential right now.
Yeah, like all the
I have
visors,
issues.
30 minutes, and I'm getting tired or sweating or something weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. It's not fun.
I think the
Well,
biggest
it's
problem
fun for
is
a while, but yeah.
it needs a commercial value to it, correct? Like we're all this VR stuff mainly is experiments on some games and some bits and bobs, but there's nothing really that has turned it into a commercially viable product that actually can be used in mass market. And until it gets a mass market adoption, you won't get the technology to grow and manufacturers to shrink it in size insufficient that it can be used. And you just look at other markets and you see how that works.
Look, the thing with VR is just that I remember when I was a kid, there was already VR headsets that was just terrible. Computers couldn't run it properly. It was terrible. These days, you have glimpses of what will come. Still, computers are not that powerful, but now you have Half-Life, the new game that came out. I've tried it the other day, and it looks great. But I'm thinking. I'm not a programmer, but I know how that thing goes, and I'm immediately seeing the limitations of everything, like what you can do, what you can't. It's really brilliant product, but still, you don't have freedom. You're still very limited in your space. You need to pay attention, like especially if you have a smaller space. It's terrible. Like either I'm hitting my cat or my printers around, or like I have scratches on the wall. It's a dangerous thing.
Yeah, I've been in that situation.
Bruises from the table.
And you need a powerful
lately-
computer, correct?
Lately, I'm actually sick of VR. I cannot spend more than 10 minutes. I get so sick, and it's bad. Like it started, I think, last year, and in the worst possible time. My wife bought me VR for PlayStation because I didn't have that one, and I spent less than 15 minutes since last year in that thing. I feel so bad. I just cannot. I don't know. When I think about VR, I can get sick sometimes. Weirdo.
No. It's not. It's not weird.
I don't even try it. Just until it gets to a level where actually it's acceptable. And come on, it's not only the headset. You need a proper computer to run it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like
Uh,
what's the minimum the recommended specs on the graphic cards for the new game that you were talking about?
Well, let's just say that I have invested a lot of money last year through the company in my computers because I'm doing a lot of video and I need a lot of power. And when I started the game, it warned me that some stuff will not go smooth.
Yeah. So
and like that's the latest equipment. It's from the beginning of the year,
yeah.
basically.
Wow.
So that just
There's
means that it's not accessible, correct?
Well, some
Well,
people
it is
will
accessible.
look.
Yeah. That.
Uh, you will always have the same problem if you're not able to buy the latest things. I mean, in my entire life until the few years ago, I was always buying stuff that I could afford, like every game that came out when I was buying a PC, I could play it on maybe medium graphics. Like entire life, it's like that. It was like that, and people just got used to that kind of stuff. No, we were only watching on magazines on YouTube, high quality stuff, and everything else we were just imagining. you know, that's why I kind of liked more consoles because everyone would get the same thing in consoles. You wouldn't think like, oh, this guy has PS4, but his graphics is better. No, it's the same until they introduce the 4K version. So I
Yeah,
No
got
I
to
guess
buy
so.
that
consoles.
one.
But still, like Matilda plays Fortnite, and any decent computer that's not too expensive can play Fortnite nowadays, correct? Or
Yes.
Why
even
and
most
or
of,
you
why
can play
was
it
it?
on a
Why
Switch.
like?
huh?
So you can play it
Why
on a
did you
Switch.
play that game?
Oh, she loves it, and most of the kids her age play Fortnite.
A lot of games need to be optimized, mostly for the speed. Like for example, you had Uncharted game that looks absolutely beautiful, and Naughty Dog made it for PS4, and they decided that they're gonna make like 1080p with maximum details. They really knew the console and what they can do, so they can provide absolutely the best graphics. And you could run it in 1080p when you're in single mode, but when you go into multiplayer, then it would be less than 1080p because they were trying to crank up the frame rate.
Yeah,
So it's always something.
yeah. But even better
In
games.
multiplayer, people care more about frame rate and that
Yeah,
they
because
don't
it's
have
Given
about
any kind of
shooting.
lag.
It's about shooting the other guy, correct?
Yes.
Like when playing Eve, we would play in potato mode so that we could actually see everyone and kill everyone as fast as we could. It didn't matter how. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was actually reading yesterday they're launching a new update to Eve. I was actually thinking, oh man, I wish I had time to actually play it again.
Eve Online needs unlimited time to play.
Yeah.
I had a picture today from Google Photos. I think it was 5 years ago when I was playing Eve Online full time, and I had 6 screens on my computer. Ah,
Sounds like
that
an
was
Eve
Yeah.
game.
oh god, Eve
I
was fun.
remember. I think my first multiplayer game was Counter Strike.
Yeah.
Everyone's first multiplayer game was Counter Strike.
hmm
In our age, at least.
Yeah, the night passed so fast for me. We were playing all night in my kitchen. It was brilliant, and it took me a while to figure out why my friend is constantly killing me. Uh,
What?
Asshole turned down his speakers, and he was constantly shooting brilliant guy. He was constantly listening to my speakers and how far he's away. He's thinking,
It's not even screen watching. It's
it's like
screen
Oh,
thing.
it was next level.
Well, I am starving, so I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to say
Me
that
too.
we should close it. It's 2:30
Yeah.
a.m. here, so I need to get
3 hours, man. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
wow.
You have
wow.
to go.
Didn't realize 3 hours passed.
It was really great, and
Good
I'm
times.
happy that we had so many pretty faces. And
Thank you, Waxter.
He's talking about Alex.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
no, really, it was really great, and I'm getting messages from some other people like they had really a lot of fun during this stream. You guys were great. Potis and I, yeah,
Well,
like
We got 6 upvotes and no downvotes on YouTube, which is positive.
yeah.
One was mine.
I'll just
So we definitely need to do this more often, at least this quarantine time. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to
Yeah,
get
we were doing
For the
this
next
for a year at least.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully it won't take a year for them to get the minis to work. So we need to check
don't-
back next week.
Don't be bad, man.
No, I want to check next week, see if they got them to print, correct?
Yeah, that's unacceptable. We got to get that going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Is it just a second layer?
No, I think it looks like what 1, 2. It's like the third one. Something weird just catching.
The power of Christ compels
Don't
me.
do that. No, we just got
Get,
them.
get a hammer.
Throw them
Hitting
through the
things
window.
is my way of fixing stuff. That's why I'm not allowed to do stuff on these. I'm allowed to run them. That's
That's the
Well,
fun part.
He's hiding his bruises. Well,
What bruises? He told me that he has this
it. He falls down the
phone
stairs
book.
a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
If you look closely, he wants to go to bed. He's not feeling well.
Up the stairs and down the stairs. I fall up the stairs. Not down the stairs.
Thank you guys for a great stream. Have a good night, day, whatever, and wherever you are. Don't stay under the bed.
Oh man, if Fernando will just, he will just do that, and he will sleep, and that's it.
Waxer,
Don't
have you
forget to turn off the lights.
Have you changed the name of the stream to Under the Bed?
No, I didn't want to bring another view on YouTube.
Okay.
We'll change
Well,
it for
all
the
right.
next time. Live from under the bed.
In the
Stay-
vault.
Stay safe, people.
Yeah.
All right.
Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And
Bye.
we're
Bye-bye.
just waiting for Potis to say that's it.
That's it.